Hey, everybody. I told you this would happen. Welcome, folks. All right, buddy. We did the intro. We put on the show. You played your part. He told me he was going to stop after we did the initial part. I don't know why he's still going. What's up, folks? Let me, can we...
There he is!
Okay, I think he's, folks, welcome. It is that early show kind of treatment. This is what you get, notification gang. This is what you get for being on time. All the appreciation from the whole neighborhood. Welcome, everybody. Shifty, Johnny, Hawk. Welcome, Pedro, Punji with the Toes gang, Wet and Bully. Nice, dude. Nigel, Sketo, Shifty, Night Hunter, Revixie, dude. There he is. Yeah. How's it going? R4, good to see ya. Welcome, folks. I love you guys. You come in, just seeing the same names here is like it's like heartwarming, you know? Death Factor, you are on time, my dude. As you can tell. This is like, Okay, I think that's the last one. I swear I know it better to be able to predict that being done. Kind of mixing with the music, yo. It's like, yeah. It's on key. Gotta remember to not go wherever. Nah, man, it's great here. Just because this dude likes to say his thing 5 times a day doesn't mean it's not a good time. Good morning, Marco. Good to see you. Ed Tehran, Stanko, 07s, everybody. Brian, Stella, Azon. Howdy, dude. How's everybody doing today? How's your week's going? It's Thursday now? That's gotta be it. It's Thursday now, right? Anybody have a especially nice and tasty Wednesday? A good day? A good week in general? Like, what's been going on? What's happening in your life? Before we jump into this insane report of development nonsense, we're reviewing everything Star Citizen did in May in terms of new ships, new features, what they're planning on putting into upcoming updates like 3.20, probably 3.21 and 4.0. So this is going to be a nice long sit down, couple hours. And then at the end of this, there is a video people have been asking me to watch and give my thoughts on. You guys may know it. It just came out. It's a big video. You know, every once in a while, like a really big YouTube channel will play Star Citizen, and it gets a lot of attention. So this one, I guess, is getting a lot of attention. And people have been asking me to give it a watch and like tell them stuff. And I was like, I don't have time to watch a 25-minute video about I'm not even watching normal Star Citizen content right now, but I thought, you know, if we have some time at the end of this, we could give it a watch and talk about it. From what it sounds like, is somebody, you know, it's a normal person who plays games, jumped into Star Citizen and jumped into Star Citizen. For better or worse, we could say they probably experienced some derivative of what I experienced with Mrs. Tomato last night. So, you know, rough experience, but we could talk about it because I think everybody has a rough experience with this game. It's really about how you come away from it. Either dead in the eyes or dead in the head. File and welcome in Adam. Hello. You do appreciate them ways in more than church bells? Do church bells ring every hour? Honestly, church bells aren't too bad. I'm not terrible about them. Church bells make more sense to me because like the whole point is they're bringing it to denote the hour, right? This is telling you, hey, you need to pray, which technically is like, I guess the same can be said about church bells. We have apps for that now. Like they used to do all this stuff 400 years ago when we didn't know how to communicate with each other. And now you just have a phone with a reminder on it. But you know, woe is me. You getting ready to do some bounties mixed with salvage? I saw that, Azon, dude. I was going to join that today, but got to get the monthly report done. I actually did mention that. I told Frenchie that I would be there if we have some time afterwards. So I hope you guys have fun. What are we talking about? We're going to hit up all of May's development. New ships, new features, everything that happened last month. I'm going to give you a nice little semi-entertaining read down with a whole bunch of blank, quiet noise in between and probably some bad puns. Oh, New England, you guys having air problems over there? Yeah, things are bad, I heard. You had a blast at Bar Citizen, Ohio last weekend, Brian. Did you happen to see Punji out there? Punji from the Toes Gang was out at that Bar Citizen, I believe. It was in Columbus, right? Church probably has an app for that too, but the bells are nice. Yeah, exactly. Church probably has an app, and that app probably gives you a Bible verse too. The best analogy you heard is Star Citizen is a convertible with no top. When it's sunny, this game is amazing, but when it rains, it gets harsh. I would say it's always relatively overcast in that case. Like, this game is amazing, and you know it's right there on the other side of the clouds, but they just linger. But I'm okay with it. This monthly report was a pretty good one, especially the Squadron 42. Yeah, I bet the Squadron 42 monthly reports are going to get much more encouraging over the next year, since it sounds like they're mostly doing polished stuff. It's going to be nice to see them not talk about, like, hey, we wrote lines for this character. They're saying things like fixing lighting or something, or scheduling, which is nice. Bungie, you were at the arcade and the game arena EQNX event. Oh, is that in May? Thought that was in April. Great day of play, and then a storm randomly blows your ship away. Right. Mrs. Tomato in the chat letting the folks know we've actually got 2 giveaways running, folks. We got a little extra surprise giveaway just started today. And it is working through Stream Elements. So we've got the 400i giveaway, of course. You can find that by typing in !400i, I believe, which will send you to the link and, you know, get you all involved in that. But we also have a Mirai Fury giveaway. So that new snub that everybody's foaming at the mouth over. I don't know if people are still excited about it, but it's a pretty cool ship. I'm putting a video out about it later this weekend. We are going to give one away on behalf of one of the lovely members of the community. Thank you so much. They want to remain anonymous. Thank you so much for giving back. It's awesome to be able to, especially with a Fury. Like, that's a cool ship to have extra, but not really a ship a player should get for their first. So nice to be able to give it away to somebody who might be able to make use of it. Remember, ! giveaway. If anybody asks, that will get you the link into that giveaway. Or I guess you could just use ! tickets and then the amount of tickets you want. Hashtag hello Abdi. How you doing, dude? Happy to see you in here. We really gotta like sit down and just talk voice in voice. We haven't gotten to have a conversation in a little while, dude. I hope you're doing well. Hope the kid's well. The family's doing well. And hopefully where you are, it's feeling a little more like summer than it is here. It's been cloudy and stuff for like ever. So I hope you're having some good weather and not like a bunch of smoke in the sky. Thomason, you love your Fury. One day, too, will be good. The Fury's going to be great one day. I'm really excited to release the video that I made on it. It came out much better than I thought it would. Well, okay. Tooting my own horn. I haven't even freaking edited the video yet. But like the script and music together, the way that it basically works is I usually do all the writing, do all the recording, lay out the audio, add the music, cut up the sections, send it off to my editor, get it back from him, put in the final touches, and then release it. So we're not even like at the point where I know if the video is good, but I've read the script. All right. And I've got confidence. LA has been overcast for like 3 months. Maybe I've seen the sun out of 4 times. Ah, the joys of living next to water. Minnesota usually gets the Canadian wildfire smoke pretty bad, but it's okay at the moment. Sounds like you got blessed by the winds. All right. We've got May on the docket. 2023 May monthly report. If you enjoy these reviews, I actually don't put these in-depth reviews in a playlist, but I think I'm going to start. I do have a playlist on my YouTube channel with all of the kind of like summarized versions going back, I think like 2 years. So every month for the last 2 years, I've been doing these reviews, trying to give people a little more insight into like what the heck is going on with Star Citizen. So if you're interested in those, you can find that on the YouTube channel. But How about we go ahead and get started with this? Because as you all know, I take forever. We get distracted. We go on tangents. Why don't we start now, and then I can start saying the useless stuff in the middle later. So, May 2023, monthly report. This is looking at Alpha 3.20, the next update and beyond. They're really focusing on Arena Commander. Apparently, that's also what ISC is doing. I haven't watched last week's ISC. I think I'm going to combine last week's and this week's ISC into one reaction video. But yeah, this is going to be the May monthly report. As always, we'll be starting with AI. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, maybe a joint, possibly just a fidget spinner. I don't know. Whatever you like to chill with, grab it. Let's get into this. So last month, AI tech continued to improve the collision avoidance system to give better results when ground vehicles pass each other or NPCs. Very important. Don't run into me while you're driving. Ace, thank you for the super chat, dude. Always blessing the stream Santa over here. Thank you for coming to the streams. You always say thanks for the streams, but thank you for coming. They wouldn't be near as fun if you guys weren't here. They also added support for driving along a predefined route, similar to how NPCs can move along a path. For this case, the designers can specify certain properties for the route, like the maximum permitted speed, which directed it should be driven, and if it should loop. So this, I am really hoping that this leads to convoy missions. I think a perfect idea for a mission in this game is having two outposts, maybe like 10, 20 kilometers apart, and just have regular NPC convoys going back and forth. And you can assign a mission to that, either to protect or steal from it. You can assign, you could even let people be part of that convoy and do like a cargo trading mission between the two outposts. I feel like if you just set up an event with AI traveling back and forth with something, there are so many opportunities to tie stuff in. I hope this leads to missions on the ground. Probably more so for Squadron 42 right now, though. Work then began on a dynamic pathfinding regeneration feature to improve how NPCs find and follow alternative routes. For example, if a hazard, like a fire hazard, impacts a navigation mesh triangle, the navigation volume will notify all related paths and check if new requests are submitted. The first stage of this was implementing an anchor structure to keep track of a location's navigation meshes and triangles, which is notified when a triangle is changed. These navigation anchors are then used to understand when parts of the triangle are modified to change, to check if new pathfinding is needed. That was a lot of text. Possibly more than was needed, but I think I do have a video clip that might be able to show this a little bit. Y'all have seen it too. We were looking at it just recently. So this is kind of showing how AI will understand where they should and shouldn't go based on things like hazards and obstacles and stuff. So all of these blue things are like the navigation triangle meshes they were just talking about. And you can see that they can put some blocks in there that add points. So like the blue, you can see if, I'm not sure if, I can't really zoom in here. Can I? Don't think so. So you can see if you look really closely, it says in blue 0, and then over the green it says 2. So technically the green, or whatever, yellow, I guess. You know what? I'm not actually going to say that because that might not be the case. That's just an ID. Essentially what they're doing here, though, is they're identifying different areas where an NPC might want to go or might not want to go. So if there's fire in one of those red squares, obviously they'd be avoiding it. If there's a fallen tree, they would walk around it. Whereas with this other space in the yellow, I don't think this is the case. I think the yellow is supposed to be an obstacle, but let's just pretend the yellow is the opposite. If this was the opposite, then this would be a place they'd want to go. And in that case, you could assign that to like sidewalks or paths or something like that, something you want NPCs to purposefully walk on to make a believable world. So they can, instead of telling AI exactly where to go at all times, every place in the world holds a value that allows an AI to calculate whether or not they should go there. Obviously makes for a lot more scalable NPC management. So you can see here, he's continuing to stay in the blue so he can avoid the yellow. We've been looking at this over the last like 6 months or so. This is something they've been working pretty hard on. All right. After that, work then began on Dynea. We already said that. May also saw AI tech begin investigating and implementing a solution for NPCs entering and exiting ships from EVA using the external doors of an airlock system. Man, that's almost better than I am. For this, they set up ship and seat access as a usable to allow NPCs to find their closest entry position, fly to it, and trigger the right interaction. They also had to account for a ship's rotational velocity and allow for NPCs to adjust their orientation as they approach. This is man, reading these kinds of sections just remind me how bad AI is in the game right now. Like, they can't even get into a ship. I never even considered the idea of an NPC getting into a ship because it's so it's just like such an alien idea for this game. Cool to see them working on it though. It's obviously going to be important to be able to have NPCs join your ship. Like, if somebody's stranded out there as an NPC, I don't want to have to go out there and drag them back into my ship every time. On the AI tools side, improvements continued for both the usable coordinator and Apollo subsumption. For the usable coordinator, optimizations were made to the code and logic flow. They updated the visuals and changed to a new usable data view too. For Apollo, the team implemented find references. Functionality with... Okay, sorry. I read that completely wrong. For Apollo, the team implemented find references functionality with support for subsumption functions. Don't know what that means, but subsumption function sounds like a Schoolhouse Rock kind of song, and I like it. What was the song? There was a song from Schoolhouse Rock like that. What is it? Conjunction function? I don't remember. I like subsumption function though. Mr. E! What's up? How you been? Long time no E. The NPC ship thing is mentioned in the Squadron report as well. Suggests probably it's related to something in there maybe. Oh, I'm sure it's entirely Squadron related. They put a lot of stuff in the Star Citizen monthly report that's really being done for Squadron that will eventually make it to us. But everything in this section I always take to mean, oh, this is going to Squadron and Star Citizen will see it in a couple years. Yeah, conjunction junction. What's your function? You guys got it. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Bunch of educated McFools in chat. Glad to hear that Schoolhouse Rock lives on. Okay. AI tech. They also completed various support tasks, including creating flow graph nodes for all subsumption assignments to help the designers create scripted AI behaviors. More variable types for use as assignment inputs were added alongside support for the usable system, tactical point system, and Alpha 319. Don't know what that means. Anybody in chat not know what subsumption is? I feel like I go over it every time. It's always somebody's first time. I don't want to I'm not trying to go over previously covered materials if y'all are good, but subsumption is a pretty big deal for the game. 70s kids. Wait, when the heck did Schoolhouse Rock start? Oh, did it start in the 70s or the 80s? Whatever happened to that? We got to get Schoolhouse Rock in virtual reality whenever that happens. Bring it back. And Clippy. Why isn't Microsoft calling their new AI Clippy? Marco Holo. Thank you for the sub, mate. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good one. Like I said, we've got a giveaway going on right now for a Mirai Fury in the chat from amazing community member. And it's much appreciated. I hope somebody, who really needs one will get it. Exclamation point giveaway in the chat though. On Twitch. This is a Twitch giveaway. So if you're on YouTube, hop over there real quick for that. But obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can type an exclamation point giveaway and still get a chance to win a 400i. What is it? Subsumption is just like AI logic. It's like a flowchart of what an AI does if you give it a goal. It's like, blow up that space station. First up here, you would have, find transportation. Then maybe you'd have start spaceship, and then this would be like spaceship. I don't know. You get the idea. It's a flow graph. So every different module is an action that an AI can do based on the previous module and what happens in it. So as an AI is going through the paces of doing something throughout the day, they will follow this subsumption. And that's why you'll hear the difference when they start talking about quantum again. You'll hear them talking about subsumption AI and virtual AI. Virtual AI are AI that don't have to do all of that stuff. They aren't physically in the game, so they aren't needing to compute logic, complete an action, compute more logic. They are just data, numbers floating around. I mean, I guess it's all numbers, but they're just like data being computed rather than an actual NPC doing actions. You worked at Microsoft last year, told them the people want to clip you back, got laid off. Maybe not related. I don't know. Sounds like a conspiracy against Clippy. You might want to consider contacting a lawyer about that one. Animation. The facial animation team continued to create assets for PU-specific character types, this time relating to missions and gameplay. That's always good. Animation era, the animation section generally doesn't do very much. We don't get to see much in these. In May, the character art team began work on 2 outfits for the Dusters gang and 1 for the Headhunters. Alongside this, character concept art prepared handoff documents for further Duster outfits. The Dusters are a gang in Stanton. So we've got Ninetales, we've got Xenothreat. It's Xenothreat's in Pyro, but they come over to Stanton. We've got obviously these Dusters who, the Astropub, if you know him, he does a lot of this stuff as well. He's on YouTube doing monthly reports. Check him out if you haven't. He believes the Dusters could be one of the factions that originally settled in Stanton and was then kicked out by the UEE when they found it. So they might have a bone to pick. We don't know yet, but there's a lot of potential for like narrative when it comes to the history of Stanton and Pyro specifically. Since there are first 2 systems, I imagine the narrative team is going to have a little fun. But they're working on the outfits for them. I believe we also have Dread Pirates Roberts. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be in Stanton, but we used to fight with them. So there might be 3 or 4 gangs in Stanton. Oh, Nova Riders. Thank you. Yes, Nova Riders is a really big gang, right? And they have like branches. So on top of the different like security systems and e-commerce systems and mining outfits and all these companies, we also have gangs in Stanton. Stanton's like super basic compared to what it's actually supposed to be with all this stuff going on. It's going to be cool to see how it fleshes out over the next couple of years. Okay, on to the art section for ships. This is where we get a lot of good info on what's going on with ships. By the way, guys, I haven't read this yet. This is my first time reading through, so everything I'm surprised by, I believe it's genuine. I might be lying to myself, but it's at least the first time. So in the UK, the vehicle content team moved an as yet unannounced ship through the white box stage. It's currently in gray box, with both the interior and exterior progressing well. A new ground vehicle variant progressed through the gray box stage too. A gray box ship. I'm betting it's kind of small, so that actually could be something we see in 3.20. Oh, Cantor, dude. What's up? Good to see you, man. How are you? Thank you again for that giveaway. Really freaking appreciate it. It's really cool to see how much this community is always willing to like give back to everybody else. So thanks for doing that. Or Alien? I don't know. They don't do very many alien ships. It'd be cool to see a small alien ship though. And I wonder what that ground vehicle is, too. A new ground vehicle in gray box. Could be one of those ones we heard leaked at the end of last year. You were thinking Atlas-based flatbed truck for that ground vehicle variant? Something for, like, cargo stuff? Interesting idea. The team approached, it could be a ship for ShipCon, you're right. Or CitizenCon. The team approached the end of their pass on vehicle tractor beams. This included work on the Origin 315P, Drake Caterpillar, and Cutlass Black. Consolidated Outland Nomad and Misk Hull C. I think that's... Wow, is that really all the ships that have vehicle tractor beams? I thought there was at least one more. Okay, well, cool. I'm still of the mindset that the Nomad is going to be one of the biggest upgrades because of this tractor beam. It's going to be absolutely crazy to see what people can do with the Nomad, having an open bed for cargo and a tractor beam to collect. Imagine how quickly you'll be able to collect cargo after you've blown up a ship. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, the Taurus. That's right. Maybe the Taurus didn't need any art stuff. That's a good point, actually. This is the art section. So all they're saying here is that the art team ended their work on tractor beams, not necessarily the features team, but yeah, Reclaimer has tractor beams too. The Spirit has one, but I don't think they're going to mention that since it's already being worked on. Raft, I think, is a physical crane. I don't think it's an actual tractor beam. If you look in the pictures for the Raft, you can see that it's got like it's got kind of like a rope and pulley system, which honestly, okay, not rope and pulley, it's mechanical, but it's a physical sort of thing. It looks kind of like it just kind of translates upward and slides into this little component here. Cool ship though. I really do hope that this also works with the cargo refactor we get this year. Don't even leave the seat to get stuff onto the bed. Just land, fill it, zoom off. Yeah, so cool. Azrael, LOD 0 view is the detail needed if you are 0 distance away from the object. So highest level of detail. Hey, Murasam. Ursa-based ambulance would be cool. Yeah, Nomad gets one. It's listed here. Raft has a face-down tractor beam. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that. So I wonder what's going on with those other couple of tractor beams. Maybe those ships? Let's see. Looking at all of these ships, these are all ships that were made more than 3 years ago. I think the Nomad came out in 21. Was it 22? When did this ship come out? Come on, somebody give me a date. They don't date these things. What am I doing? Nomad was late 2020. Okay. So then when was the Raft? Uh, 315.1 would have been late 2021. So Raft maybe was already designed with it in mind, but that wouldn't explain why the Reclaimer isn't here. So I don't know. They just have some ships missing from here for some reason. Oh, Midas! Look at this guy! Thank you, dude. Appreciate the tip. Honestly, I'm so not used to hearing that alert. That caught me off guard. I really appreciate the tip. That means a lot. 3.11.x for IAE. Okay. Yeah, Raft was late 21. Nomad was 2020. It's possible the Nomad needed a little refactor for that. But it's also entirely possible that they just didn't work on the Raft or Reclaimer. I don't know. In the ship talk a week ago, they said something about the Taurus already had art for tractor. Okay, so yeah, maybe some of the ships just had it ready already. Continuing on, development of the Crusader Spirit continued. C1 is almost gray box complete, while the A1 had its LOD 0 review scheduled for early June. Man, I wish they would let us know, because I know LOD 0 is in gray box. Is LOD 0 basically the last step of gray box? Meaning that LOD 0 is gray box complete? Because then I would wonder why they wouldn't just say both are almost gray box complete. Confusion. Taryn McLean with that pizza fund. Dude, we had pizza last night. I know Mrs. Tomato said it, but I just wanted to confirm. The pizza fund goes a long way. If you want us to eat something specific, you just gotta fund it. Not like I'm asking for a kebab fund or anything. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We got our food money. I appreciate the heck out of Terran for the bits, but you know, obviously, we can pay for dinner. A1 will go Bert at IAE. Is it really the Bert? Wouldn't it be more like the boom? The pop? I don't know. Those bombs are kind of small. Maybe just a little pop here. Pop there. Cannon. Thanks for chipping in, by the way. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Metaphysical, good to see you too, my friend. Welcome. It's a good time. Monthly reports are like the best streams of the month, in my opinion. The MISC Freelancers component rework progressed through the final art stage with LODs mostly finished and some polish tasks outstanding. It's due to finish final art this month. That must be a pretty significant... We've heard about this, I think, at least 3 different months now. Let's see, components. So this is what the component bay looks like right now. It just had all of them right here on the side, and I think maybe there was something behind this door that they needed to move. But it sounds like they had to do a pretty hefty amount of work to get that to work correctly for resource management. It's also interesting to see how much focus they're putting on the freelancer being worked for resource management and nothing else. Makes you wonder, does the freelancer have a specific problem that all the other ships can kind of get around and add rework resource management quickly? Or are they going to have to do this with several ships, you know, over the course of the next several months? Because they've put a lot of effort in describing this to us. Polite Gaming. What's up, dude? Doner Kebab Fund. I'm more of the Adana Kebab kind of flavor. I do like some doner though. Or it ties in together with the whole sea design. I mean, they will look pretty similar, being from MISC. Hope they'll surprise us with more than just components update. I mean, the entire way, there's supposed to be cargo behind that door, right? So I guess they got to be doing something to fix that as well. Sujuk Fund. I love you guys. All right. Last month, the team began preparing the RSI Polaris for White Box. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Just heard several pairs of pants in chat get tight. Because this is a sizable capital ship, we have been breaking the vehicle down and planning a resource pack so that an interior can be constructed out of reusable elements. Good call. We also spent time reviewing the concept to highlight any areas that would need additional design time due to a new gold standard requirements, which are always being updated. Yo, let's take a look again at the beauty that is supposed to be the Polaris. I don't care for the ship. Not a combat pilot, not crazy about capital ships. Polaris as a missile boat, never been my cup of tea. Drazen, of course, is all about it. You know, the Texas and their warships. But I personally I'm not that interested. But here's what it looks like. This is not a great shot. Can't even, don't even see the whole picture. It is a multi-deck missile boat of a ship. You can see that the missiles in here are freaking massive. It's got torpedoes. Look at how big this is. Like, this is a person, right? This is a person. He's got to be like 1/5 the length of this torpedo. And I think it's got, how many of these does it have? Like a lot? So it is used as a like large strike craft against other capital ships. It's got full interiors. It has a hangar bay for a support craft or two. It is actually a very new ship. Interestingly enough, this ship in Squadron 42 doesn't even exist. Because of when Squadron 42 takes place, and because this ship was actually made as a response. So Squadron 42 covers the beginning of a new war between, or not a new war, but the beginning of more skirmishes between the humans and the Vandul. And those skirmishes, I believe, are the cause for the Polaris. Like, the humans and the Vandul clash, and then the humans are like, okay, we need this type of ship for this. So they go back and they build the Polaris, and now we get it in Star Citizen. And probably in the next episode of Squadron 42. I think that's how it goes. I don't know if it was specifically the Vandul, but somebody fought us, and our folks were like, oh, we need a torpedo boat. And that's why we got the Polaris. So that's being worked on. Very, very big fan favorite. One that people have been waiting for. It is a big part of the backlog, so it'll be good to see it made. And I really do hope that this modularity, reusable elements can help them with the Perseus and the Galaxy afterward. 24 size 10 torpedoes. 24 size 10 torpedoes. Imagine salvaging that. Imagine finding a Polaris to salvage. Holy crap. Like, we're not even talking about the components yet. The possibilities of this game are stupid. Marco Holo and the bits? Yo, thank you. More pizza fund. No, really appreciate it though. Thank you so much for the support today. We are going to get the Fez giveaway started soon. We've got our prizes here ready to go. We will be starting these giveaways next week. Like I said, once we reach a goal where, 15 of these types of things happen, whether it's the kebab fund or somebody subbing or memberships on YouTube, I will be picking out one of these lovely pieces of paper, and we will pick out one random person who is active in chat, and you will be eligible to win something from the RSI store, whether it's a new weapon, a ship skin, or I don't know, a box of Benny's noodles. We'll be giving away plenty of different things once every stream when we reach that goal. So that'll be starting next week again, just letting you guys know. Thought they were larger, like size 12 or something. Are there size 12 torpedoes? 32 size 3s as well. Oh my god. What a ridiculously powerful ship. Ships like the Polaris, like, putting that in the game changes it entirely. Xenothreat isn't even going to be a challenge if they don't update it to account for things like the Polaris or, I don't know, a Perseus or what else? Like a Nautilus. Like, all of those things are going to completely change how we fight. You can't just fly in there with a small fighter, do your dirty work, and then get out. There's going to be like capital ships sitting around. What an interesting... It's another reminder of how much more this game has to go, which is both exciting and sad, but it's like... The game we're playing right now is nothing like what Star Citizen's going to be. Even now, I used to think that in 2018. But right now, the game is just so much different. And we've all seen kind of how people reacted to new things happening with this game or seeing it go through major changes. It's going to be turbulent, I think. We're going to have a lot of... Oh, it's going to be a very interesting couple of years. I say couple of years, but I mean the rest of the decade. Big question is how many they allow in per server. Well, that's why we are working towards server meshing. You just laid it out. That is one of the entire reasons that we work towards server meshing, because they want to be able to do capital ships flying around the space. They want to do multiple squadrons of fighters. And in order to do that, they have to split the system up into multiple servers so that you don't have to ask how many people could be on a server. At some point, the hope is that a spaceship could be a server. You could have 30 people on your ship, and it wouldn't take into account all the other spaceships that are 100 kilometers away. It would just focus on supporting your ship. So that's the ultimate goal. That's still a long ways away, but that's the idea. Costly to fire those off, and if it's jousting with an Idris, the railgun comes into play. Right, but if it's jousting with an Idris, the Idris has to keep up with the Polaris. And then the Idris also has to deal with the railgun. They're going to have to worry about... The railgun's going to be super, super power heavy, right? Intensive. So you're going to either have to focus on recharging your shields because you're getting hit by torpedoes or firing off your railgun. And then, maybe you're getting hit by things and your components are going out. It's like the battles are going to come down so much more to support rather than just shooting your guns. Oh, and I'm excited for that because I'm really bad at shooting guns. Is my camera lagging? Lag. Doesn't look like it. When Death of a Spaceman comes in, prepare for fire. I'm going to prepare a lot of extra characters. Okay, in the US, the Tumble Storm approached the end of the Lot 0 gray box stage. Nice, so this thing is pretty far along. With the team applying materials, palms, and decals to the exterior and interior. This is currently in the polishing stage, with the devs tuning the visual balance. They also applied wear to the entire exterior. Whoa! And prepared to begin customization work with various paints. The vehicle's interior lighting is nearly complete with an upcoming pass planned for the exterior. They're not saying anything about audio work. Actually, we'll wait until VFX. If they're doing VFX work, this thing might come out in the summer. Wow. Good for them. Hey, no problem, Avenger. I appreciate when people know I'm having a tech problem because they're always popping up. Crucible, Vulcan, Apollo, Starfarer rework, all support ships when? Chris says soon. I'm just glad we can at least use the Starfarer. That's nice. I hope that we can change out the fuel tanks for mining pods of some sort or something, but I agree. I want the Vulcan so bad. Thank you. I think the current Idris in-game have a modifier on them that nerfs their health, like a lot of the NPCs used to have. So that will lengthen engagements and require something like a Polaris to take them down effectively. Yeah. Foundation Festival. When is that? Early July? No news on the Legionnaire, unfortunately. At least not in the art section. The point of the Vulcan is that it is basically it's a drone transport ship. The Vulcan is entirely based around drone gameplay. So the whole middle section is dedicated to 4 different drones that can either refuel, rearm, or restock. However, they can only do one at a time. So you also need a lot of storage on the ship so you can trade stuff out with the drones. So you got the cockpit, got the living quarters, drone bay, and then the cargo bay where you can store all the stuff that you need to put on the drones. So it's mainly meant as a very hardcore support ship. And it's very small. And that's why, obviously you don't want to take a 50-meter crucible out to do a job that a 30-meter, I guess not even 50. How big is the crucible? It's got to be more than 100 meters long. And that's before the rework. Because that ship is way too small for what it's supposed to do in game now. But the crucible is 90 meters long. So the crucible is more than twice the size of a Vulcan. So you definitely would need something a little bit smaller. I also don't think the crucible carries drones, which is a pretty important part of what the Vulcan does. That basically means that you have to go to the crucible and land on it to get the work done, whereas the Vulcan can just be flying around in the battlefield sending drones out. On top of that, also, obviously the crucible is huge, and it does more serious repair work. When do I think the Merchantman will release? Not for a couple years. What did the rework change on the Crucible? There hasn't been a rework yet. I was saying there... Oh, maybe there has been, art-wise. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, maybe there was a rework, but we haven't seen it yet. Vulcan is more for quick repairs. You can't do full repair with the Vulcan. It would have to go back to a shop or a crucible. All right. Where were we? Santok Yai. The Aopoa Santok Yai is mostly complete with only with only dashboard work remaining? I don't understand that. We've been generating a new set of textures to be used for labeling and the dashboard and buttons, as well as creating a new damage map to show through the gaps in the armor, which will be unique to Aopoa. We're also creating a new palm sheet, which will also be unique to Opoa. So much unique Opoa. It's crazy how much unique stuff they do for these ships when the ships have to be updated so often. I really hope that doesn't bog them down. I'm confused by this ship. I swear we were just getting an update a couple of weeks ago saying the Santok Yai would be ways out. Oh. Right. No, I'm being dumb. I am being very dumb. This is just the art section. Duh. So the art people are almost done with the Sentakyai, but I'm guessing we're going to have more vehicle feature stuff that has to go on for that ship to be released. So I don't think it's coming for Alien Week. I believe they confirmed already it's not coming for Alien Week. But it is possible maybe it would come at the same time the Storm does, but I'm guessing 320. So that is vehicle ships. Ship art is always fun. It's good times, but let's move on to engine. Now, this confuses me, but I do say on my videos that you should come to these streams if you want to get a better, more insightful look into the engine section, because on the videos, I really skim through it. Again, here I will say what I mean, or what I think I could say, and maybe if somebody like Panic Switched or somebody, Jin, is in chat, they could chime in with the stuff that I don't understand. But let's jump into it. So, the engine team. Actually, wait, before we go. This is super important. This is like excuse me. This is the part of early access that most early access games I feel like aren't dabbling too much in, because this stuff really messes with the game. And for the most part, these companies that are building games are building them on engines that have been made. Unity, Unreal Engine, Spatial OS, Snowdrop, Frostbite, whatever it is. They're using something that a company made, finalized, and created documentation for, so that they could learn and understand. Because when you're building a game, you have to know how to build with the engine. It's kind of like needing to learn how to read in order to understand the instructions to put together a chair or something. So what they're doing in Star Citizen is building that engine and documentation right now, so that the rest of the company can build the game around it. And that's why it goes so slow, because they keep it's a lot. So I'll try and tell you a little bit about what they're doing right now, but it's usually pretty complicated. So part of the Core Engines team's work in May was supporting Alpha 319. A major element of this was enabling design to overwrite density lifetime manager settings based on spatial markup. Once design utilized this, the engine team will be able to add specific cleanup rules to different areas of the game. We've heard them talking a little bit about this when it comes to PES. For example, some areas could be cleaned up more aggressively to prevent persistent items from negatively affecting gameplay. Obviously, PES, the whole point of it was to avoid doing this, but it makes sense to me that PES gives the ability to do it, and now they can limit it back in the places where they don't need to do it. As long as they are allowing things to persist in the places that we need, like on moon surfaces, planet surfaces, and space, stuff like that. How else are people supposed to explore it? There will be far less stations to refuel at. Yeah, we'll need the refueling ships in Pyro. Didn't Jared confirm an ISC episode during Alien Week about the development? Seems like it won't be finished. Yeah, believe that was when they confirmed it. It amazing to you that they will sell ships before they are made. Wish they would spend more time getting the game stabilized. I mean, those two statements aren't related, right? A streamer last night rock mined for 9.5 hours. Oh my god. How do you sit? I can't sit at a computer for that long. I'm jealous of people who can just like sit there and play for that long. I can't do it. I wish you guys have seen me during streamathons. My back, like a freaking spineless turtle sitting in a chair. Before Pyro CIG needs to have completed an update of a functional and efficient star map. As a Starfaring community, the current star map has been crap for a very long time. Yeah, they do. I think that's coming with 4.0. Wasn't that Crouch? Was it Crouch that did the 9.5 hours? Why servers are so bad right now? Things were better in this patch already. Servers are so bad. Wait, what do you mean? Like servers are bad now? Things were better in this patch, like earlier? 3.19 earlier? I couldn't tell you why they're doing bad right now. Ships have nothing to do with game stability. Skyer! Come on now. You can't say it. As a 3D artist, it shits me that people think we're also meant to code. Well, I mean, the thing is like, wait. The thing is, you don't even... the ship team, the people he's talking about that are putting out like the pictures of the concept artist team, so that's not even the 3D artist, right? We thinking 4.0 in the middle of next year? I don't know, that's what I said last year. I'm done trying to predict it. I'm so done. I added like 4 months onto their prediction last year. Unfortunately, I think that would have been more accurate if there wasn't already another big hurdle to get over, which was PES. So PES being delayed obviously rolled over onto server meshing delaying. Static server meshing? I don't know. A year away, minimum. Let's just say static server meshing is still 2.5 years away, so we're all happy when it's not. Hopefully. Star map's currently the worst thing about this game. Hey, I made a video about it about a month ago. It needs to be fixed. I think it will be though soon. Polite Gaming, they say something about the star map later? See, I should make you pay for stability. I mean, technically we could pay for better servers, right? Oh, we have item stacking now, Haunt. In the inventory. That was a blessing. It's still kind of finicky, but it at least stacks things. But yeah, the inventory system could definitely use some work. I'm not as annoyed with the inventory system because it released like a year and a half ago, I think. And I'm still in that phase of like, I'm just happy to have an inventory. The star map though is 6 years old. It's gotta change. You get on with the star map, okay? Rhino, check out my video from last month. It kind of explains why the star map has some problems. Biggest one, you can't zoom in on locations. No, that's probably not the biggest one. I think the biggest one is probably that you can't set beacons. No, the biggest one is that you can't search. I think that's maybe it's that you can't honestly, there's so many issues with it. I can't wait for the replacement. Oh yeah, auto stacking would be cool. Like a button that just stacks everything for you at the same time. Some of the concepts, do you use 3D artists? Okay. Basic blockouts and whatnot. Even then we could start building ships or their components without coders being involved. Fair. Do we even have a system that doesn't need work? The ship store. Very good. It works very well. Keep going. All right. Where were we? Engine. I'm procrastinating on the engine section. I'm sorry. The team also progressed with their work on StarBuild, adding the remaining Linux support. StarBuild is now on a feature parity with the old code build system and will be rolled out to other departments soon. I don't know what StarBuild is. I'm guessing it's the build tool to like put the development branches together. It sounds like it's their own in-house version though, as their engine is called Star Engine. But again, Linux support, this is the kind of stuff that they've been doing with Vulkan API, with the renderer, and generally with like the core engine work. For the renderer, the team started removing legacy Gen 12 code. There is a lot to remove, but this will result in leaner and easier to maintain renderer code when complete. These are like the really boring little things that are just gonna give us so much dividends in the future. This is how we're gonna be able to get ray tracing in Star Citizen. However many years out that is, all this development that goes into Gen 12 is a big part of leading to that. FSR, DLSS, ray tracing, global illumination, all those kinds of things are locked behind this. So it's really, really nice to see them making consistent progress on it. I didn't think we'd get Vulkan this year, but it's looking like we might. The core engine team also progressed with the generic shape language, adding editor support to save generic as well as remaining shapes. Multiple segments will be added before it's handed to the designers to use. Don't know what that is. For Mem Replay 2.0, the team, was there a Mem Replay 1.0? The team are currently adding more features, including file open dialog, faster loading, and async symbol resolving to get it ready for wider use. They're also adding optimizations and continuing to stabilize their feature stream to integrate it back into the main development stream. Last month, the physics team focused on improving and bug fixing the new method for tracking unique geometry parts. They then improved cloth simulation for better simulation results, updated the rope and pulley systems, and added cantilever simulation support. What does that mean? Cantilever simulation support? Does that mean we're going to have to deal with like tensile stress and stuff? I wonder what cantilever simulation is. Finally, physics supported vehicles on tech issues and investigated performance issues with Alpha 319 for the release team. Keep this in mind because this is coming up everywhere, right? Last month, the core engine team was working on Alpha 319. I think it said up here. The community team supported the completion of the Alpha 318 patch cycle. Up here further, the AI team was working on Alpha 319. I'm sure if we go down to more of the features sections, we'll find stuff about work was done on 319. Yeah. Quality of life bug fixes for 3.19.1. Keep going down for 3.19.1. Keep going down. You find a whole bunch of references of patches that are either about to come out or already did come out. That's the bug fixing. Whenever you ask about like stabilization and bug fixing and stuff, they're doing it. They're actively doing it. It just doesn't, it's like a balance. They bug fix and then they add an update and then they have to bug fix. They add an update and you're just kind of creeping forward. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guys, come on now. Mechanical engineer. I know what cantilevers are. I'm saying, what does it mean to simulate them? We already have cantilevers in the game. So I just don't understand what they're getting. Because I get rope and pulley. We're obviously going to be like picking things up, rappelling and moving around. But cantilever simulation feels like we already do that. It's their build system. The thing that we're talking about on ISC a little while back that adds build time tests and the like. Oh, okay. That's cool. Hopefully that helps with testing. What's up, Deadhead? Good morning. It's been a minute since you've been able to tune in. Hope you've been well. Really enjoyed your content talks with Salty and STL. The talk with STL is great. I'm going to get him into another talk soon. If you haven't seen it yet, I actually did another show with Salty and a couple other mining people, and we talked a lot about the mining updates. Oh, beam gameplay. What is a fake cantilever? Maybe it's cantilevers regarding tractor beams. I don't know. They're nothing but if not kind of bonkers. Well, now we're on to the features section. I'm just glad to be past engine. This is where things get fun. Features are the bread and butter. And the teams have been popping off lately. So last month, the engineering team began a full refactor of how the game rules system serializes network variables and communicates with the server, which will make it compatible with server meshing. They said the words. Work also continued on a full refactor of the spawning module. Initial work was completed on the new game rule difficulty module. This was handed off to the Squadron 42 team for expansion, as it will initially be used to allow them to set varying parameters based on the selected difficulty mode. Okay, that's definitely a polish kind of thing, right? Difficulty settings? That's gotta be late stage development kind of stuff. Again, not for Star Citizen, for Squadron 42. Mining chat was excellent. So good to see CIG making changes to shake the Quantanium meta. It's very nice. Very, very nice to have a wider variety of things you want to go for. All right. A refactor was also done on how loading screens are utilized. The team are currently experimenting with having separate game mode load screens that update to show the map once a response from the server confirms where the client is heading. This will fix a long-standing issue of load screens and accurately showing the map players are about to enter. Check it. Somebody's going to take this and make a video out of it and be like, "Ha! Star Citizen has loading screens." Ibrahim, top of the morning to you. Could just be part of AI development. But it's not an AI. It's in the features section. Although, I'm assuming it does have to do with AI. Squadron 42 month report had a lot of polishing being done. Everyone loves a good polishing. Scrub a dub dub. Scrub a dub. Freaking dub. Bright Night, you're not too late. We're going over features. It's alright. You made it. Welcome. Thanks for jumping in. Okay, where were we? A rework of team balancing and competitive scoring also began last week. This will enable groups of players to stay together more consistently, balance teams based on leaderboard stats, and enable a new mechanic allowing players to volunteer to switch teams if an imbalance is detected during a match. Wow. Switch team functionality. Who would have thought? For competitive scoring, the team are currently experimenting with various adjustments, including awarding higher scores based on the KDA rankings of opponents and awarding lower scores for killing the same player repeatedly. You get lower scores for bullying somebody. That's funny. Patch next week, Tuesday? I have no idea. How is 3.19.1's development? Does it sound like something that they want to get out quickly, or are they taking their time with it? Is it a big .1? .xx? I guess a 3.xx patch? Is it like a pretty big one? Because they're taking a while with it. Finally, engineering began experimenting with increasing max server FPS, decreasing the actor delay buffer, and increasing packet rate in an effort to reduce latency and desync in Star Marine. I haven't watched last week's ISC, but I'm really hoping that these modes are becoming something that are more exciting to jump into daily rather than just kind of use if you can't log into the PU again. In May, the Arena Commander Designs team began converting the Theaters of War spawn screen, to most other game modes. Excuse me, when's the last time they said the words Theaters of War? Can anybody... Hold on, I don't know, definitely not in a monthly report recently, but I gotta check and see when the last time they said that in a video is. Theaters of War. $2021? No way. There's no way it's actually been that long. I thought it was going to be like last year. Let's just try searching for theaters and see if 2022. No, that's not Theaters of War. Gavin Raw 3. Oh my gosh. The last time they mentioned Theaters of War in a freaking video was 2021. What? They were like, no, don't ask us. I'm guessing they must have said it in another monthly report and I'm just forgetting. But that's a big deal that they're actually mentioning it. They're not really mentioning much else about it other than that it has a spawn screen they want to use else places, but it's surprising. They even mentioned combined arms in last week's ISC. That's cool. Yeah, that's going to be... There's too much potential for like a good Battlefield 2042 successor in Theaters of War. I mean, I am here for the MMO. I'm here for the persistent universe. But we have all already known that the whole idea was that these modules were going to be video games inside the video game, right? They cannot skip out on that possibility. That could be the biggest recruiting method they have for Star Citizen. Imagine if you just come across some space-based combined arms battlefield game where you can go from planet to spaceship, fighting in all different forms, and you never even know it's connected to Star Citizen. And then you're playing that, you're getting into it, you're loving it, and you find out there's an MMO involved where you could do this all over the place and to do all the other industrial-based stuff. That could be their golden ticket. It could at the very least get people into Squadron 42. Or vice versa. PES was a holdup for Theaters of War. I'm guessing it's probably like optimization overall and you know, smoother gameplay. Like FPS definitely has to get figured out better before it gets launched, I think. Would be cool if they showed something on today's ISC. 2 ISCs about Arena Commander. It definitely makes me hope that they're doing something more special, because the same topic twice in a row is not normal for them. Okay. Work also progressed on an upgrade to Vandal Swarm, with the team experimenting with new gameplay mechanics. The conversion of Security Post Korea was also completed, which will be added as a new map to all game modes except Classic Race. That's really cool. We will definitely be using the Korea Outpost level for our FPS training stuff. No better place, except maybe Jumptown. The team also polished the track layout for the 4th new addition to the New Horizons Speedway collection, Halloran Circuit, while putting the finishing touches to the first atmospheric arena. The arena, Winner's Circle, will be available in all dogfighting game modes. Again, a great place to... Oh my god, I'm going to actually be able to get better at combat. Convinced Theaters of War is going to be a standalone game for consoles. I think that would be a very good idea. I hate to say it because it's a little bit blasphemous, not going to lie. Like, this is supposed to be all about the PC experience. I would rather see them use Theaters of War as a way to get casual players than they actually casualize the game and try to sell it on its own. You know what I mean? Like, introduce people to a more casual experience in a standalone game rather than making the game itself feel more casual. I do think that obviously the game should have plenty of stuff in it for casual players, but overall, Star Citizen's intimidating, and I think Theaters of War could be a good way to introduce people to the idea. Especially from consoles. That'd be cool. Cross progression would be cool too. With the updates to Arena Commander, you might play that more than the PU. It'll be nice that we'll have the choice. Finally, the design and VFX teams completed a pass of all locations featured in Arena Commander to increase their overall visual quality. Because, you know, they're listening to all of those people who keep saying that Star Citizen is going to be graphically outdated by the time it releases. So they're like, y'all know we can change the graphics, right? Making a standalone title so they have more than 1 to 2 products. Wouldn't it be cool if they had like a demo disc? Not a literal disc, because who uses discs anymore, but like a demo pack where you pay $10, $20 maybe, and you get Arena Commander, Star Marine, and Theaters of War. There's so much opportunity. Who knows what they're going to do with it all, though. Okay, features in the characters and weapons section. This is generally more interesting than Arena Commander. People who have seen that haven't seen the 2013 videos, or even the 2017 videos. Wasn't the Squadron 42 Vertical Slice was released, I think, at the end of 2018? The graphics have improved even since then. The graphics improved with 3.18. Like, it can always change. Anyways, last month, the features team worked on ammo repooling, which allows players to redistribute the ammunition stored in their suit and inventory to maximize the number of full magazines. This is, people used to use this a lot as like a way to draw the comparisons between Star Citizen and Escape from Tarkov. They will allow you to manually load and unload ammo. And they also render all of the bullet casings. If you haven't noticed that, you can go out into space with a gun and start shooting your gun, and you'll see every bullet casing pop out. And if you take the third-person camera and rotate it around to the front of your gun, and you zoom in really closely, you can see every bullet get chambered into the barrel. It's like... But yeah, so being able to load magazines with manual ammo is going to be good, because as of right now, if you reload too quickly, you waste a lot of ammo. So once this is completed, it will make it less likely a player is left with a large pool of magazines containing a few bullets each. Happens to me all the time. It will prioritize filling up the magazine and the weapon first. Another thing they talked about with reloading, which is pretty cool, is if you have magazines in your backpack, it will give you a slower reload. So it's not like you have to take them out of your backpack, put it on your waist, and then reload your gun. If you run out of ammo on your waist, it will automatically reload from your backpack, but it will be slower and more cumbersome. And I freaking love that. I love it. General question, what is the best way to get an FPS experience? You need to relearn how to crawl. Just do bunker missions. Go hit up all the different bunkers. They start to get pretty hectic, and you can just grind some rep. We're probably going to start doing some Arena Commander and Star Marine nights in my org, though. I think the Discord server, we're going to start to host those weekly. Because this stuff sounds good. Takes a tomato to discover that kind of thing. I mean, it's a fairly well-known feature. It's just one of those things that you can be like, oh yeah, this game's super detailed. They render all the bullets. Chris probably was like, had that down on the initial little things, like must be space sim, must have ship interiors, several different professions, seamless environment, render all the bullets. Detail! But that's why we love you, Chris. The team also explored a new negative actor status triggered by radiation. Radiation can be generated from a point emitter, which has a bigger impact on characters the closer they are to the source, or it can be ambient within a room. Oh, we're gonna have radiation guns. Now they have to program in a 6-stick function. Minority Report, anybody? We have to get 6 sticks if we have radiation. At least a 6 gun. This is pretty cool, though. I'm wondering if damaged power systems or damaged fuel, quantum drives or damaged components in general might put out radiation. And we have to wear certain things against that, or maybe stay out of the room, or even use the life support system to flush a room before you go in. A lot of possibilities with radiation. I think I remember seeing one sign of that, of radiation being a thing, but I didn't realize how it was going to be coming already. I guess I don't know. You hear those things and you think it's years away. And maybe it is, but they're at least working on it now. So in the last Moby-Glass preview we got, this is supposed to be the new Moby-Glass. Everybody knows the Moby-Glass, the little thing that pops up, super laggy, not great. This is the new one. And you can see up here that they actually already had the radiation in here. So we already have pressure, we have atmosphere, we have temperature, and we have gravity. It looks like they're getting ready to add a new reading, which is radiation. So they're working on it here.
There he is!
He's not there. Nobody's praying. When a character is affected by radiation, the protection of their outfit will start to decay. Once protection is gone, the actor will suffer radiation sickness and will need to seek medical aid to recover. Oh, they're totally going to make us sick. The outfit will regenerate its protective layer over time. Wow. Need to get more involved with the org Discord. Want to find some AC and FPS action. Yeah, Tommy-san, we're doing regular FPS rep grinding. So if you want to hop in there.
Wow.
Can't wait to give someone radiation sickness to disable them. Tier 7 medical gameplay, identifying who shot you by the detail on the bullet they pull out of you. All the different fragments and shrapnel. You got to put it together. That's the science gameplay stepping in there too. All right, gameplay features. These ones are fun. I love these. Montreal's PU team focused on a proof of concept investigations for the entity removal, destruction, trash bin feature. The feature's test-driven development will be based on these investigations results and proof of concept findings, the latter of which was completed last month. What exactly does that mean? Entity removal, destruction, trash bin feature? Is that like anything that is... Be right back. All right, is that anything that is like supposed to be removed due to the density manager they've talked about? Because in the features section, that's a little weird to come across. Oh, trash bin feature. Literal trash bin. Oh, that's awesome. I freaking love that. Wait, that's great. That's like how we can keep cleaning things up. I don't know why I didn't. I guess because I'm not used to calling it. I'm not English, right? Trash bin is an English way of saying it, yeah? Or is that, am I just dumb? Is that American too? I'm not from here. You know, that's a good point actually, Newt. The radiation stuff could be overall, like, it could be applied to really anything. And it could be something that's like used as a camouflage, I guess. But like, how about radioactive cargo that you have to keep away from other types of cargo? We just say bin. Britain, they call them wheelie bins. Wheelie bins. Right, I'm used to trash can or garbage can. Bin, boot, torch. Oh, British. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Basically, you find a water bottle on the ground, you can put it into a trash can. The trash can will despawn it. Good way of cleaning up areas naturally, and probably a way to assign some missions. The team also supported the Vehicle Died event, which is used by soft death and vehicle destruction, and made quality of life bug fixes for Alpha 319, staging content, and game dev. Can't wait for them to start talking about the death of soft death. I know it's a very new feature, and it's great, but ultimately it is a stepping stone, and the next step couldn't come soon enough. Yeah, Dorian, I like that complication for engineering. When like a quantum drive gets damaged, it puts out radiation or something. You get a leak. All right, an issue with the RSI Constellation Series Copilot seat UI not connecting properly to IFCS was fixed in the content files as well. This was combined with a code fix aimed at the UI rules to prevent it from only tracking the pilot. These changes also create the potential for other ships to have their Copilot UI updated properly if needed. Gameplay features did not do much on May. This is usually the most exciting section of the whole report for me, and not a single one of these things was like... I mean, we didn't get to hear about refining, engineering, investigations, or bounty hunting. I'm sure we'll hear about some of that in the next one with missions, but I would have hoped we heard more about at least the tractor beam stuff going on. Interesting. I guess tractor beams would have been in characters and weapons. People will hate the death of a spaceman. I think there's got to be a way for them to do it so where it's not going to mean too much. Let's imagine they give everybody 15 lives before they lose their character. I think that's reasonable. Make it 20, you know? But like, the idea of age and consequence is so important in this game. We can't get rid of Death of a Spaceman just because people don't want to go through retooling their game session. It's not like you lose all your progress. It's just a certain amount of stuff you lose, and I really hope they retain that. Oh yeah, we need high sec before Death of a Spaceman. We need crazy changes to reputation. We need better medical systems. We need less glitches that have to do with like body. There's a lot of stuff we need before that gets put in fully. I don't use Shiny Tracker. I have heard of it. I've never really looked at it though. I generally stay away from the progress tracker as a whole, but maybe I'll check out Shiny Tracker as well. Thank you. In fact, let me just pull it up right here so I can remember it later. Because I've never actually looked at it before. But maybe it has more detail than... full access, enhanced version official. Okay. Yeah, your rep and everything is going to transfer over. You'll get minor hits on that stuff. But it's really not that, like, terrible the way they've described it. Most certain there will be ways to get around Death of a Spaceman. Yeah, they're going to let us prolong lives, get new lives, repair our bodies and stuff like that. There's just a lot of stuff that they can do that I think, instead of freaking out when you hear about the idea of Death of a Spaceman, get into a conversation about how it can be made to work better with us, you know? Tomato dies that many times to random stairs and handrails. Random stairs and handrails are gonna lead me to the unlimited lives land. Don't worry, I've got the, I'll be on the streamer servers, so we'll get more lives or something like that. I don't know. That's a joke, by the way. Features on the mission side. This looks like a juicy section. I can already see bounty hunting in there, so I'm excited. The mission features team continued to work on the ship escort, data heist, and consignment retrieval missions, and added the finishing touches to a new unlawful salvage mission where a ship must be stripped of an incriminating paint job before law enforcement arrives. Can I... Star Citizen, monthly report, July 2021. I want to look at what they were saying in the mission section 2 years ago, because the amount of missions we're getting right now feels crazy compared to before. Oh, they didn't even have a missions section. They didn't even... All right, let's say 1 year ago then. What were we doing mission-wise 1 year ago? Still, no mission section. So that's how little this kind of stuff was happening. For those who are kind of new to Star Citizen, this should put into perspective how limited the game has been up until just this last year. It was good, it was improving, it was getting better, but the fact that they didn't even have a mission section just kind of shows how little content, how little actual tangible content we were getting, and how much that has improved recently. So you could see September of last year they had it. This was when it first started. And now we're just getting, I mean, data heist missions, ship escort missions, cargo missions, bounty hunting missions, investigation missions. It's good stuff. We're eating well. I know my expectations are low, so maybe we're not eating well, we're just eating better. But our diet is improving. The incriminating paint job is a giant Whammers logo on the side of a Hull D. You know they're transporting something good. If only they could fix box missions. I believe this is going to help with that. Consignment retrieval missions are the new cargo missions. Instead of fixing the box missions, they're probably just going to completely replace them with modules. Another exciting development is that we're exploring a new lightweight PvP/PvE event set aboard a modified version of the Siege of Orison barge, in which players must figure out how to open shipping containers in order to steal the items within, all while Ninetales outlaws hold down the location for themselves. That's sick. I'm so excited for all these various types of events. The thing with this is, though, they're calling this a PvP/PvE event. Ghost Hollow is like that too. Can anybody confirm if Ghost Hollow has Ninetales present? Because I think they mentioned that in the description. I think that'd be a pretty important detail. What I'm thinking here is if we can get a... Tommy! Every time at this time, these dogs... Give me a second, guys. All right, just had to close the window. Mailman, no, it's a poodle. A poodle goes on a walk at about 6:15 every evening, and the dogs here lose their minds. Oh god, and what happens is, like, there are dogs all around this area. So if one dog starts barking, I mean, you guys know how dogs are. They all go off. It does have Ninetales there. Okay. So that means this won't change anything significant. What I was really hoping was that if they were doing this, they're working on reputation to balance this out, because the way these events should work is you should be able to build reputation with Ninetales to the point where you can join these events and not get shot by Ninetales. Just work to, you know, against everybody else. But probably not yet. All right, for Alpha 3.19.1, the team rebalanced cargo regeneration within ships across various mission types, including salvage, assassination, and bounty hunting. This involved removing unsellable commodities and ensuring the profit fits the risk involved. That's useful. I'm sure everybody who does cargo box missions and has to fly like 40 million kilometers to drop off 3 boxes and get 4,000 credits for it appreciates getting profits based on what the amount of effort you put in. So I'm glad they rebalanced the cargo regeneration. That's a actually pretty decent addition to 319. I'll be interested to see how that goes. In fact, I might screenshot that so I can remember to test it, because I am not going to remember this. Just post that right here so I don't forget. Okay. Mission features actively worked on refactoring old missions into the current modular library, including missing persons. That's what we were talking about. Alongside this, they refactored how the destroy drugs missions work and made parts of them modular. For example, the previous version spawned hundreds of individual boxes, but with the help of new code, they can now simply spawn pallets that come with drug box loadouts. I'm guessing that means less entities to spawn in. Alongside significantly improved performance and reliability, this method also allows a team to control the number of pallets spawned for different mission difficulties. Okay, cool. So we heard about the modular mission system a while ago. I'm actually wondering, I also did a video on it. Wow, that's funny. The video I did on it recently comes recommended after the one I did on it like 2 years ago. So either of these videos will tell you about it. I can actually drop both the links in chat for you real quick. Oops. I hope you guys can click that. So that's a really old one that talks about kind of the combination of missions, quantum, and reputation. This is a new one though that talks about the modular state of the mission system they're trying to create. Allows them to combine a bunch of different types of missions and gameplay together. It sounds pretty cool. Check it out. If you don't want to watch my video, watch their ISC, but they talk a lot about it. Let's move on. Mission features ongoing work on Bounty Hunter V2 progressed well too. The designers are currently working with the Systemic Services and Tools team, such a catchy name, to develop the systems required to have virtual NPC bounties traveling around the system. One of the engineers, with help from the Interactables team, is also developing a method for pods to attach to points in the world so they can seamlessly enter and exit the game space. We just went over that on Monday, right? You guys remember that? We talked about how Bounty Hunting V2 will use those virtual NPCs. They will be moving around the system, committing crimes, going to certain space stations. The whole idea is that these virtual NPCs will use every system we do. So they'll call into space stations when they want to land. They'll call them to leave. They'll go to bars and buy stuff. They will ping comm systems for updates. And all of those things are going to be how you're meant to track down your target when you do bounty hunting. Looks like they're making progress on it, but I'm guessing it's still quite a ways away. We might actually not get this year. We'll see. Finally, the designers supported Invictus Launch Week, which involved fixing bugs, look at that, and maintaining the Expo Hall transition system, the Javelin Tour, and the Bengal Flyby. I usually like a better features section, but that one wasn't bad. Graphics, VFX programming, and Planet Tech now. The graphics feature team spent the month working on performance improvements and new features, including screen space shadows, improvements to quantum jump tunnels, and rendered to texture zone culling. A GPU memory allocator and an upgraded resource cache compiler were among the new performance boosting upgrades. Performance boosting, yes! While the evolving temporal super resolution officially passed its first milestone. Good for them. Yo, Stream Elements, why are you clogging up my chat? Come on now. Yes, they have Ghost Hollow. Ghost Hollow has 9 tails. I see you, Justin. You're like 5 minutes behind us. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Temporal super resolution. What is that? What's TSR? Oh, an automated upscaling system that can now upsample opaque objects. Okay. Now I see. Global illumination is well underway. We were just talking about that. So far, the first iterations of a hash map-based Radiance cache, ray generation code, and ray tracing prototype were completed. What? Huh? Did anybody expect that to be working? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I've got to take a little bit of a detour here. Because I need to listen again to what CIG had said on this. All right, music turned down a bit real quick. Okay, this is an interesting development. Let's listen to this real quick.
After this, that's where we'll start.
So this is sorry. This is from a year and a half ago, talking about how the rendering engine is going to build into the game and improve it. So here he's going to tell us the first steps to getting the rendering engine working, and then he'll talk about what's supposed to happen after we reach those milestones. I believe we're in between milestone 2 and 3 right now, but let's see.
After this, that's where we'll start seeing the public milestones.
Yeah, Punji, that's kind of crazy.
100% usage of Gen 12 and none of the hybrid approach.
So this is what we got in 3.18, I believe, was 100% use of Gen 12.
This will still be at DirectX 11, our current graphics API at this point. And then our second milestone will be the Vulkan API.
So this is what we're working towards. We're in between milestone 1 and 2.
That will be optional at first and then mandatory after we've removed all the bugs. And then a final milestone will be when we have performed the optimizations for multi-threaded. So that will only happen once the Vulkan is in place and we can finally look at the performance on the final graphics API and optimize all the remaining code.
Look at how much like more optimization this game is going to need. And this is where he talks about the global illumination and stuff.
After Gen 12, I just briefly wanted to touch on what comes next for the graphics team. So a lot of Gen 12 has been focused on CPU performance. So after Gen 12, we really want to start looking at the GPU performance. The first few things we'd look at here were things that wouldn't change the visuals, just improve the frame rate. Things like DLSS, FSR, async compute, and variable rate shading. After we've improved this GPU performance, we want to start looking at some of the more exciting visual features. So then there is also mesh shaders and primitive shaders, which is technology we can use to generate procedural geometry. And this type of thing could be really exciting for things like the planets or asteroid fields where procedural geometry is critical. And then there's the big one, ray tracing. We're very excited to get onto ray tracing, especially to use it for lighting, such as global illumination, but also...
Wait, Jonathan, you think this guy's working on ships? Definitely not talking about ships. But I'll say I missed that.
Very excited to get onto ray tracing, especially to use it for lighting, such as global illumination, but also reflections and shadow quality. There's a lot of exciting areas for us to look into, and we can't wait to get into.
I don't understand. He's talking about all this stuff happening. I mean, it sounded like he was talking about it happening after Gen 12, and they're already talking about ray tracing. That's super surprising. I'm guessing this is like a very, 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 very early kind of thing, and we're still years out, but cool to see they're working on it. That was unexpected. All right, improvements to Gen 12's validation error debugger were made to improve the accuracy of bug detection for faster issue assessment. In preparation for deferred render graph execution, Vulkan's frame synchronization was improved. Issues with gaps in pipeline resource sets at bind time were resolved, with a mapping update that uses continuous resource set layouts. Love that stuff. That's that's good. Sky, are you gonna develop a Twitch for how many how many times people say they need to stop working on ships? I'm pretty sure I have like a little lump in my brain that's forming from from that. We're very early, like we don't have Vulkan yet, but they've been working on it for years. Yeah, so global illumination I'm sure is far away, but man, they have a working prototype already. That surprises me. Is this 20 patch tomato? 20 patch? What do you mean? Really cool to see because people have been talking about this game starting to look dated. Right, and it's like... I mean, in my opinion, it's not looking dated. I don't know what to say. Like, you could just go to any of the footage that they've released in the past couple of weeks and be like, this is looking dated? I don't know. I don't see games with this kind of look. I mean, this is, I guess it's more on the detailed side people are probably talking about, right? I can definitely say that some of the stuff when you get close up does not look as good. And I think they need to improve some stuff there, but like, in my opinion, I think that the game has pretty good graphics. I think it could definitely use some lighting updates. But I don't think it's behind like the bar, you know, for games right now. Wonder when we'll see Nyx. I don't know. A little while, couple years. Hashishin, they're talking about stuff that's going into 320. Yeah. Looks better than Minecraft, and people still play Minecraft a lot. I don't know if Minecraft was ever really, you know, lauded for its graphics. Planet Terrain does have some tiling, yeah. Be more worried about dated character details. Yeah, those faces. Some of these companies have gotten so good at rendering character faces in games. Epic has some amazing looking stuff for character faces. A ship designer can just do engine work is like telling a plumber to fix a car. Hey, if your car has a toilet in it, then the plumber can help, alright? Minecraft has 8K texture packs. Honestly, Minecraft, I'm pretty sure they did like a... I've been seeing Minecraft, like, what was it, Legends or Dungeons or something like that. Looked pretty good. Going to have Jack Axton on anytime soon? Yeah, I actually planned on having him on last week, but we're going to do a show at some point soon. You able to play for 12 to 13 hours straight a few days ago, so you were like, wow, so much potential, let's fix it. Yeah, there's a lot of potential. But to be honest, if they fixed it now, it would just all break again in a year. They continuously fix it. So like, you can see here they're saying bugs related to damage max, particle effects, and in-editor crashes were solved. Up here they were saying designers supported Invictus Week, fixing bugs and maintaining the Expo Hall, Javelin, Flyby, and the Bengal Carrier. You come up here and they talk about the team made quality of life improvements to Alpha 319.1 with bug fixes. You keep going up and you find, I don't know, more stuff about 319, performance issues being fixed. Last month, they were supporting 319 in the engine work. You can't read about Star Citizen and not understand that they are trying to make it playable. There's just so much also going on that they can't do it all at once. It would be great, but it's just, it ends up being kind of a waste of time at some point. Changing the whole renderer makes me wonder how far they are from unmodified Lumberyard. They've said. Check this out. Star Engine changes from Lumberyard. Should probably pull it up. Somebody did post about this on Spectrum. Actually don't know if it's going to pop up. What would I need to search for that? Somebody else might have the link in chat. Star Engine modifications. Maybe that'll do it. No? Let's add Star Citizen and Spectrum. Bet ChatGPT could do it. No, I might not be able to find this. There is a very good Star Citizen changes to Lumberyard. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it. There's a good post on Spectrum. Start Egnin. There's a good post on Spectrum where they talk about all of the different changes they've made to the engine. But I'm not sure. It's going to come up on Google search. Maybe it gets referenced here. Yeah, I think this is where they get some of these changes from. So these are things that they've added. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find the full list that they laid out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they've got here. Here we go. Cool, they did link it. I know it's not. I know it's called Star Engine. I'm typing fast. So here are all the changes that he says that they've done to the engine. This was a couple of years ago. This is 3 years ago. So they've done a lot of things. Not all of these might need their own list or their own item on the list, but you can see that there are stuff they've changed. Like motion blur is probably something that was in Lumberyard. But you get the idea. They've made quite a few changes to it. At this point, they kind of call it its own thing, and that's why they're continuing to develop and put so much time and work into it. Yeah, they said at Con 42 that the engine's already changed a lot. Yeah. Want to see the dev team or Jared in these events running around? That would be great. That'd be cool. Learned a while ago that Amazon Lumberyard is not a thing anymore. It's gone. I think Amazon... I think it's back up, actually. I think Lumberyard is being used on a new game now. New Lumberyard game. Guard? I could have sworn they said that there was another, like they stopped development in the engine and then they recently just decided to try another game, but maybe they fully stopped it. God, if I know. We're getting super distracted now. Oh, look at that. They have Star Citizen on there. No, I guess it changed engine. So yeah, it might be done. Someone will tell them to change the UE5. Oh my god. The amount of times people have been like, they should just switch to Unreal Engine 5. They could just do this so fast in Unreal Engine 5. Like, please God. Yeah, it's used for New World. But for games that are currently being developed, it sounds like it might be done. I meant a future game, not one that was already out. Okay. God dang. I'm trying to figure out where we were and I just realized this was all from the global illumination line. Holy crap. Improvements to Gen 12's validation error debugger were made to improve the accuracy of bug detection for faster issue assessment. In preparation for deferred render graph execution, Vulkan's frame synchronization was improved. Issues with gaps in pipeline resource sets at bind time were resolved with remapping updates with a remapping update that uses continuous resource set layouts. The Planet Tech team started finalizing quantum obstacle generation with generic shapes and asteroid fields. A collision issue detector and wear, dirt, and paint modifiers were also added to the raster tool. This is... I don't like to get my hopes up for this. But could we be hearing about some of the first complications towards actually making the Aaron Halo Belt gates a thing? Could it be possible that quantum traveling through the Aaron Halo Belt will not be possible unless you go above and around or through these gates? Because quantum obstacle generation in asteroid fields, they've been talking a little bit about that kind of stuff. Switch back to CryEngine. In order to switch back to CryEngine, they'd basically have to remove everything. Like, CryEngine is still here. CryEngine didn't go anywhere. They are still building the game on top of CryEngine. In fact, if you go into the... If you do the little tilde and go into the loading, you can see things loading into the game. You can still sometimes see objects that specifically reference CryEngine, I think. I think Unreal would be a great choice, but they would need a way to upgrade to new versions easily. They'd also need a way to control Unreal Engine themselves. They would need a way to avoid having to pay to use an engine to create their game that's already costing a ridiculous amount of money. And they would have to figure out how to continue to build it out for all of their other games in parallel to what Epic is doing. I think it would be very, very dumb to work on an engine that's owned by somebody else for a game like this. This is a long-term game. I don't know what engine like WoW was made on, but I imagine they're probably, if it was a third-party engine, maybe they're like, hey, this sucks that we've had to pay these people for 20 years just to develop our own game. They said at Con 42 that Aaron Halo and its gates are on hold till Pyro is out the door. Oh, I'm guessing quite a few of the things we're reading about are going to be more than a year out. Why? Why what? Star Engine, which is the in-house name for SC's engine, is a branch of Lumberyard. Yeah. The entire game is funded by the community. They don't need to fund them for the development. Huh? Who's they? They don't need to fund them. The community doesn't need to fund the game? All old studios have legacy engines they build their flagship games on. Yeah, it makes a good sense. WoW was built on Warcraft 3 engine, so that makes sense. Build it on your own engine, because who wants to pay royalties when you're basically creating the engine yourself? They spent almost 10 years developing WoW, and the server side of stuff was especially revolutionary back then. I bet. There's got to be a reason that game did so well. Aaron Halo belts, what be that? I'm glad you asked. So these are like, you know how the Aaron Halo belt is like all the way around the star system? It separates Crusader from... Wait, it separates Hurston, and then Hurston, R-Corp, Crusader, Microtech. It separates R-Corp and Crusader, I think. Can't remember where exactly. Hold on. I think it separates Crusader and R-Corp. Should be able to see it in these pictures, if any of them are high quality. Oh, that one was good. No, it separates R-Corp and... Oh, okay, Crusader is inside of R-Corp. So, it separates Crusader and R-Corp. You can kind of see it here. It goes around the entire system, and it's this big asteroid belt. And basically what they did was they said, hey, transiting between the outer system and the inner system requires you to go around this asteroid belt because it's so dense. So R-Corp said, we're going to make some gates that protect a straight line through so that you can quantum jump through, but you have to go through our gates, which obviously can mean things like payments and having a good reputation with them and all that kind of stuff. We don't know what the complications are, but they are very large structures. CIG can have their own branch with Unreal. Of course they can, but they'd still have to pay, right? UE5 is actually very good, but there's a reason big studios don't use it, because they have custom engines they've been developing for 10 years. Not like CIG need to make up for development costs. Why wouldn't they? They're clearly understaffed. Why wouldn't they want to make more money? They can't even they can't even do their community management fully because they don't have enough people to hire. They constantly have job openings. Why wouldn't they want to have more money to give? Death of a Spaceman is so stupid. If I like to lose everything, I'd stay in real life. This is why I try games, because it's a game. You don't lose everything charging Ox. That's not how Death of a Spaceman works. Much better to have their own engine doing only the thing you need it to than to have something like UE that more like a one solution to fit all problems. Each game has its own problems. Go from Arc L1 to Her L5. Stop 12.5 million from Her L5. What is that to do? Just don't see CIG being keen on sharing their tech, and then they could have equally used the support of a larger engine team. Don't see CIG being keen on sharing their tech. Stick to casual stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like Death of a Spaceman, I wouldn't invest too much in the game. Because it's all shoved in... What? They don't get more people by having more money? I mean, I figured they would be able to hire more people if they have more money. I don't know. It's whatever. If you don't think they should do it, that's fine. Can't wait for ship tractor beams. Hoping they allow them in armistice zones. Yeah, we need them to load ships, right? Okay. Ongoing improvements to the biome builder will reduce constant spawn and despawning. What is up with her today? Ongoing improvements to the biome builder will reduce constant spawn and despawning, which in turn will relieve the physics team of large destruction queues. Water can now be simulated in engine and features the new disturbance component improvements. Hey, they've been talking about ships crashing into water actually making a difference. I don't know if that's what they mean. But the water is pretty bad in game, so nice to hear the simulations are better. Finally, our recent VFX features and bug fixes saw several direct improvements to both the editor and core tech framework. For example, the new master VFX library can resave and export in the P4 format, and particles can now be found in a dedicated effects browser. Bugs related to damage maps, particle effects placement, and in-editor crashes were solved too. Hey look, more bug fixing! In-game branding super short this month. The in-game branding team continued working on interior and exterior signage for Ruin Station and supported the EU locations team. Solid. You can customize the 300 series. Is that like the only one? Just bam bam, catch you later. Have a good one. People are confused by the type of game SC is trying to be. It's going to happen a lot. Even when we got, like, the idea of manual loading and unloading of cargo it's still not really that commonly known, I think. Maybe it is, but I feel like I still see people kind of find out about that and not be happy. Is it bad that I am more excited for watching development updates than playing the game? No, that's why I started doing YouTube, Zentrify. Not for you when it's the only game you play for almost 6 months now and investing it over $600. I mean, the money spent, like, I'm not saying your money is worthless. I don't think the money spent will justify whether or not the game is right for you, though. They have, like, a very strong idea of the game, and I think there's definitely gonna be a point with this game where it's just not worth beating your head against it, because they are doing a lot of stuff that's rather polarizing. I think, like design choices. So I would like, I'm not saying to leave the game, but definitely consider some of these things, because like they're gonna change the game a lot. People want instant gratification gameplay. SC ain't for them. They can go play ED or No Man's Sky. Elite Dangerous is not instant gratification. That's like travel for 2 weeks to get to a far out place and then look at the star and say yay. Which isn't shade. I think Elite Dangerous is like the best space exploration game ever. You didn't log in for Invictus? Hope CIG never caves for that. I mean, there are some things that CIG needs to make sure to make accessible at least. Like, I like the idea of manually loading and unloading my ship, but they should make sure it's very easy to hire someone to do that so that you don't have to do it if you don't want to, you know? If you didn't trust this game in its development, you wouldn't have invested so much, but it's just your own opinion. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, if that's your opinion, I feel it. I'm just saying, I think Death of a Spaceman is going to be definitely be a sticking point in that case. But, yeah, I don't know. You don't lose everything, so there is that. I think that would be, that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you die with Death of a Spaceman, not only are you going to be able to die many times, I would say no less than 8 times would you die before you actually lose your character. And then when you lose your character, all of your stuff gets passed on to another character. They might take some fees for medical insurance and stuff, but like Your ships, your armors, your guns, your money, even a lot of your reputation is all still going to be there. You're not going to lose this stuff. So it's a consequence, but it's not ruining the game. At least it's not the aim. If you can't control AI fleets, what's the point in buying a dozen ships? Well, that's going to be a question of the ages. It's bad. We all thought raiding in a train for a game was a stupid idea, and then when we played it and rode the first time, all said, wow, this is kind of cool. I don't know, Sphinx. Those train simulation games, they've got an audience. Transition. I don't know if I missed the first part of that comment. Herd reputation won't pass along to the next character. I think he said it should be a... He said it would be a smaller amount of the reputation. So not the whole bit. It would basically be like, your father was a pirate, so these people might accept you as a pirate. That you might be able to get that reputation back with them faster, but you're not going to get it all. The reputation and faction alliances pass on to your new character, but slightly diminished. If your original character was a pirate, then the new one will also be aligned with pirates, but not as much, and will still be on the UEE watch list. No slate will be wiped clean, but if you want to change your allegiances, this could be the start. So not only is, like, it's almost like a soft reset. Like, if you wanted to try out different types of gameplay, you could use this sort of death mechanic as a way to start a new character without having to start a whole new account and start over completely. I like that. And if we go up, I think they say... something about lives. How many lives? Yeah, there will also be opportunities to regain some lives or do a reset. They're giving us a lot of ways to get around this. Think of it like lives in an old school arcade game. Science in the future is far more advanced, so you have each character will have the ability to die multiple times before the character is finally put to rest. Like they're trying to build in stopgaps to make this not absolutely terribly punishing, while still making it kind of a consequence of sorts. So lost on what Death of a Spaceman really means. Have they outlined it specifically anywhere? Yeah, I can, actually, I think I have a video on it. Yeah, look at that. How Demon Souls changed Star Citizen. So clickbaity, Jesus, who made this? I'm going to post that in the chat for you if you want to check out that video. That explains Death of a Spaceman. And basically, it uses the article we were just looking at and some of the newer stuff they said to talk about it. You can go after the person who killed your father, mother, or neighbor. Yeah, it's like, what was the game that did that? Shadow of Mordor did a good job with that. Oh, my camera's frozen. How dare you? Let me try and refresh it. Oh God, I can't, because I can't access the source from here. Oh man, I hate that. I really hate that. Hold on, guys, sorry. There we go. Oops. Hello. Okay. Sorry, I had to figure that out. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, the Nemesis system. He actually, I think, references that as well. Is the RSI website down for everyone or just me? It's not down for me right now. They said it only be implemented after all game glitch deaths stop entirely. Only then I would agree with Death of a Spaceman. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll ever be able to wipe out all glitch deaths. They couldn't even do that with like a single player game like Halo. I think we're going to have to deal with some of those problems, and that's why they're not trying to make it a one and done kind of thing, but rather a, hey, we recognize that the game might kill you at some point. Here, literally go in game and get a life back. It's the best they can do. But I don't think they'll be implementing it anytime soon. All right. Without confirmation from Toe or Mrs. Toe. What is that, Mr. E? What are you talking about? Frenchie! 07, dude. What are you salvaging right now? $400i with the Fortuna paint. Yes, we are giving away a 400i with Fortuna paint right now. If you type in 400i, exclamation 400i on Twitch or exclamation giveaway on YouTube, you'll get access to that. And if you type in exclamation point giveaway on Twitch, we're also doing another giveaway. We're giving away a 400i and a Mirai Fury. So if you want the chance to win a Mirai Fury on Twitch, type in exclamation point giveaway, but both are going. First, we need a game instead of a testing ground. Until we have an MMO, we are just founders and testers. Yes! Which is why we need more features. Don't stop features to test, like, that's what I keep saying. We don't want to stop features and do bug fixes. We need a game. We need them to build it. Don't slow down, speed up. You had to server hop, only got one hammerhead so far. Oh, God. That's annoying. We got to start grinding more rep, Frenchie, so we could just supply missions all the time. Lighting. In May, the lighting team worked on Invictus launch week and continued to produce content for the Pyro system. This was mainly focused on Ruin Station's exterior and lighting modules for its interior. Ruin Station's getting so much work. So much work. Live Tools. The Live Tools team continued to study the usability of the Network Operations Center and are now starting to collect the results. This will allow them to establish an action to highlight improvement needs and priorities for the future. The team also released a new version of the internal error handling pipeline, which featured significant improvements over its predecessor. You know what I just realized, folks? We don't get an audio section. What's the audio team always doing? I'd like to hear more about that because they've been working on this new audio engine called Claudius, which is supposed to help them, once again, have in-house control of everything going on in the game sound-wise, but we don't really know where that is. And it's been a while. Jamming. Imagine the audio section in the monthly report. In May of 2023, the audio team was jamming. And then they just move on to the next section. Their audio people are like wizards. See, I wouldn't even know. I really wish we could hear more about it. All right, Live Tools team. Did I already read this? Yeah, I did. Locations team. In May, the locations teams continue work on Pyro. Surprise. Making good progress on Ruin Station. Bigger surprise. They supported Invictus launch week too. Between major tasks, one of the artists worked on new racetracks, which was shown in a recent episode of Inside Star Citizen. I have not seen that yet. Looking forward to it. The Sandbox team oh wait, no, maybe that was what I seen like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Sandbox team further developed planetary content for Pyro and continued to support the Montreal-based teams on work on the new underground facilities. The Organics team created new fauna for Pyro and are currently reworking some of the upcoming system's planets to bring them up to current expectations. I can see the anger comments. I might actually put that specific line in my video just to see if people get angry about the fact that they are reworking Pyro planets. We also have some very cool content that we are working on alongside all this, and we'll share more info at a later date. That's fun. I like very cool content when it has to do with Pyro. I hope it's like specific locations. We should hear about the profit of Pyro. Part 2 of ISC today. Yeah, I haven't even seen part 1, so I'm probably going to watch both at the same time. We divided it 4 salvage and 3 bounty hunters. The contracts weren't showing up in the accepted list. You have ERT certs. Okay. We alternate between VHRT and ERT depending on which one is in space. And you couldn't find any other ERTs? That's pretty wild. Audio is crazy. As somebody who kind of started out doing all of this kind of stuff, making music, video work, it gives me more confidence. I'll say that much. Your job is currently building a synth at work. That is very cool. You'll just follow the info runner's rules and bow out. Oh, of the 400 I gave away? Why? I think we're getting some kind of variation of Theaters of War in the new Arena Commander. That'd be cool. Sounds too hopium for me. They're adding many things people have hoped for a long time. That's good. I'll put my own video on that out tomorrow. I'm excited for it. 3.19.1 is PTU. Why doesn't Mrs. Tomato like salvage? It's very calm and relaxing. She loves salvage. She had a fantastic time. Went into it not expecting to, but loved it. Right, I heard they said combined arms. That's pretty cool. Narrative team. This team is getting more and more exciting to me every month. I hope we have some good stuff this month. Over the course of May, the narrative team continued working on several of the new mission initiatives started in previous months, including data heist, package extraction, and consignment retrieval. They also worked with the various design teams to brainstorm new mission ideas. And I'm imagining, even though they call these mission initiatives, these are all modules. The hope and dream is that all of these will be separate modules that can be mixed and matched to custom create missions on the fly, but that is emphasis on the latter part, the dream. Narrative also kicked off further discussions on Pyro, specifically going over the areas of influence of the system's various factions, as well as defining which groups are allies and rivals. It's almost been a year since I did my video about Pyro. And in that video, I said that CIG planned on having Pyro out towards the beginning of 2023, which I obviously wanted to add a few months onto and said summer of 2024. Or, I'm sorry. They were thinking beginning of 2024. I was thinking mid-24. Obviously, they were behind that schedule now. No. I'm sorry, that was right. They said beginning of 23. I said mid-23. Obviously, they're well behind schedule, and it's probably going to be next year. I think I need to do an update sort of retouching video on that and explain how CIG estimates work, but also talk about this whole idea that they're working on factions. Like, they're getting together basic relationships between factions as opposed to having the system out for us 2 years ago. I really think that at some point I guess whenever they realized how far server meshing was out, they said, we need to reevaluate how we're going to release Pyro. I'm kind of thinking that they wanted to release Pyro piecemeal and just sort of give us a blank system, maybe with space stations and landing areas and like outposts, but probably missing a lot of the missions, the mission givers, the factions, and that kind of stuff. Because they're doing a lot of that stuff now. And it feels like they want to drop Pyro as a full system rather than like Stanton is. Like, it seems like Pyro will be more complete than Stanton is right now when it comes out. But I do think they're going to pick Stanton up to match that. During a recent motion capture session, the team recorded the first air traffic control assistant for cargo and will be looking to review and refine the wider experience in future months. Oh, I hope that means we get specific cargo hangars. The team also began polishing and implementing a new tourist behavior that will debut in an upcoming patch, probably in Orson. Narrative also dedicated several of their weekly jams, yum. I hope it was strawberry, to exploring some of the versus alien culture and answering questions for some upcoming Xeno language development. Nice. Anybody who is a supporter, a Twitch subscriber, a Patreon member, or even a Ko-fi member, if you go to the main page, or actually this is just for YouTube people, if you are any of the other things, go to Discord. If you're a YouTube member though, go to the main page, and I actually just dropped this video 5 days ago that talks about how the lore kind of defines how the game will play. And the first thing we talked about was actually alien languages and kind of why they developed the way they are and who's speaking them and who these aliens are and like all that kind of stuff. So check that out if you are a member and you want to learn more about that kind of stuff. But I think that's cool that they're going to do more. We'll probably get a special on that on Alien Week. Ooh, Zentrify. I know how that feels. Tavarin is your guess? I would assume they just do more with the Vanduul, Xi'an, and Banu, because we haven't even really learned much about Vanduul language yet, right? Finally, on the dispatch front, the team released a portfolio outlining the history of Invictus Launch Week, a Whitley's Guide to the Prospector mining ship, and wrapped up the month with another batch of Galactopedia entries. I missed this. Whitley's Guide to Prospector. Okay, it's from Jump Point 6.06. I was going to say, this looks old. Are there any aliens in the game at the moment? No. Not putting effort into learning a fourth real-life language. I'm not going to learn a made-up alien language for a game. Yeah, don't. The people who are learning this language is going to be like 1 in 500,000. I don't expect people to be learning this language. All you really gonna have to do is probably learn symbols if you want to. And again, it should be optional, as these things are. You don't want to load cargo? Pay somebody for it. You don't want to learn a language? Bring someone who does, or guess. But for those who do want to learn it, it is out there, and it is actually learnable, which is pretty cool. How many will pick Ruin Station as their starting location? Sounds miserable. We're not supposed to know about the Vanduul. That makes sense. There wouldn't be a reason why we would understand their language other than recordings, huh? Don't think they've done anything for Tavarin yet. True. And we would probably know the most about their language. Is the Twitch drama arm with new rules going to move you more to YouTube? Yeah. I mean, ultimately our goal was always to move to YouTube. They're just accelerating it. Vanduul language is just a fight. Google Translate will be your friend. Probably there's going to be some of the more content creation, language-based and lore-based content creation folks. We're probably going to have an app. Somebody will create a website online where you can just type stuff in. Afternoon, Alex. How you doing? Okay, in May, the online services team applied fixes to the character repair system, enabling players to fix some login and other issues without requiring CIG support. It's more bug fixing. They also provided bug fixes and optimizations for ASOP terminals. More bug fixing. The remainder of the month was spent optimizing persistent entity streaming to improve the performance of its backend database. More bug fixing. In May, the R&D team continued improving the temporal render mode for atmospheric and volumetric clouds. Additionally, planetary terrain height map generation was optimized to eliminate frame rate hitches that were reported by players. More bug fixing. Aside from using a more suitable partitioning scheme for the tessellation of terrain patches, the changes also include terrain quad viewport culling before further tessellation by the GPU. The resulting height maps are later used to render large-scale planet terrain shadows and to spawn GPU particles on the ground. The large-scale planet terrain shadows have been so beautiful. When you're coming into the Terminator and the sun setting and you can see those massive shadows like 15 kilometers stretching across the planet. Crazy. Had to get your haircut, listen to some Star Citizen news. Nice. I like a good haircut. I need to get a haircut. Systemic Services and Tools team. Just rolls off the tongue. They spent their month working towards Bounty Hunting V2, including finalizing upstream work on the character creation service, R&D for bounty contract missions, a bounty marker prototype, and connecting the NPC tracker service to the game server. Additionally, a new C# service wrapper was completed. The team also continued working on Quantum. Sorry, I get this. I think this is like my nitpicky pet peeve of Star Citizen, is how we can't get this to be a known term for this tool. including making progress on the data-driven economy. They're talking about the economy. Quanta states, quanta life, and the battle matrix and battle system. Yo, this is the second month in a row now that they have mentioned. Whoops, dang it. I did not mean to do that. All the way back down. So this would be the second time they've mentioned quantum with April 2023 monthly report. Look at that, the link literally just pops up in my search results. So last month, they also mentioned it just barely. The team planned out the next set of milestones for Quantum and Odin. Now, they're actually working on it. Guys, oh, bless us. They're working on the economy. Tony Z woke up. Somebody got to his room, knocked on the door, said, "Hey, dude, they want to trade. You need your long hair dreads for characters in the game. Ooh, like what Tisha is supposed to have. Memory. What's up, dude? What was Odin again? Odin is just the overall tool. So Quantum is the economy simulation. Odin is like the program, I believe. If you look at when they talk about these things, you can see the names up in the top corner. So like here it's saying that Quantum is, oh, Hex, I'm sorry. Hex was the overall tool. Odin is the tool that handles dynamic events, I believe. Yeah, so no, I'm sorry. Odin might be what controls. I actually don't know, because Odin also handles dynamic events. Dynamic event. Right here, you can see. Oh no, I'm sorry. Quasar handles dynamic events. So Odin handles pricing, I'm guessing. Quantum is the overall system. Odin handles pricing. Quasar handles events. Quanta are the actual NPCs. Out of the things we don't have a ton of info on progress, Quanta is one of those things. Jesus, it's Quantum! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why call it Quantum? The only sign I can come for why he called it Quantum when he made it was he said that it was a quantum leap for the economy. That's all he said. And then they just went with that. And they used Quanta as the name for the actual NPCs because it's the plural of quantum. I'm not sure why they chose the name, though. It was a bad idea because it like is something else we already used. No, Quantum's not in live. It's they're still working on it. You remember reading that Tony Z tried to do something like Quantum in the Freelancer days? I bet. It seems like it's kind of similar, right? Right? Like Freelancer was a lot like this with the economy stuff. Quantum of Solace fan. Oh, well, if you meant Quanta. Then I'm going to be a grammar Nazi. It has probabilities, and it's also like pieces that make up a whole too. Huh. Yeah, there's also quantum fuel and quantum travel. So the naming is a little confusing. Random NPCs flying around would be great. I was looking at ArcCorp the other day, and I was just like looking over the city. And like, I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 ships come and go from the starport, and that's all it took for it to feel like an actual living location. Makes you wonder, like, if they can get 10 NPCs landing every couple of minutes, how much different will the game feel? Oh yeah, there's also the Odin system. Good call. There's also Quantanium, which is the the mineral. Yeah, good job, guys. VFX section. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We didn't do UI. UI section. Nope, we didn't finish systemic services. Finally, SST continued to support the recent live release, including several bug fixes. Oh, look, more bug fixing and ship price modifications. Is anybody sick of me saying more bug fixing every time it comes up now? I'm just going to keep saying it. Sorry. Hey there, Odysseus. How you doing? Odysseus, the homie, dropping the best roadmaps you can find for Star Citizen. Been serving the community for years, dude. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate you dropping by. Wasn't the repair, refuel, rearm fees already linked with the quantum system? Yeah, it was. I feel like I don't really notice it, but maybe you're technically not supposed to. Okay, now we're on the UI section. In May, the UI team's artists and designers worked on the user interface for bounty hunting as well as concepts for upcoming gameplay features, while the Arena Commander team upgraded the multiplayer game's front-to-end menus. The UI tech team continued improving their tools, including making performance fixes and improvements to the debugging of complex UI screens. Hey look, more bug fixing. They also continued to work on the new interior and minimap feature. This is initially for Squadron 42, but will eventually be added to the PU, making navigating caves and landing zones a much smoother experience. I wonder why they specify caves and landing zones. You guys think that the minimap will be disabled when you leave, like, civilization? Like, you only have a minimap when you're in a town or a city, and then once you're out in the wild or in space or something, the minimap doesn't matter, so it's gone? And that's why they specify landing zones? Either way, very cool to hear. Happy to hear it. I'll give you guys a little preview of the interior map real quick, because it is pretty cool looking. Well, the tech they're using for it is cool looking. We don't actually know what the map will look like, but it looks very nice. Like it'll provide a kind of a wireframe representation of anything that we're inside of. It would be amazing if they could do this same thing with caves. I mean, that's basically Prometheus, right? Like, that's what we all saw in the movie, and we're like, we need that. Do that. If they do this for caves, that's it. I'm gonna do a Prometheus machinima. I'm not actually, but it would be cool. I'll tell somebody else they should do it if they're good at machinima. I'm not. Not very good at that. Did I read the Squadron 42 report? No, I haven't. It is mostly the same from what I know, but I'm sure they have some extra interesting stuff about Squadron. They also mentioned downloading a map when you get a contract, for instance, right? Think it's more like they're particularly great for those places, but that it'll also work for many other places. Okay. I was kind of not really looking forward to a mini-map in this game. We'll have to see how they do it. Scanning locations and then selling the data should be a very valuable game loop. Yes, that is more of the data running that goes on, more of the exploration gameplay. What is this? This is the monthly report. Only exploration ships do it? That'd be awesome. Yeah. Or like exploration vehicles of some sort. Just finished half your finals. Glad to see a streamer you can relax to. Congrats, Woody. Gosh, I remember finals week. So freaking stressful. I never knew what to study for. It's like I got this test tomorrow, but my test in 2 days is going to kick my ass. Squadron 42 monthly report gets emailed out. So check your email box for that one if you're signed up for it. Sorry for not responding to the last Discord post, but I wanted to tell you I was really honored by what you wrote. Oh, no problem, Odysseus. Appreciate you, dude. Any news on the RSI Orion? Not that I know of. You don't have it? You might have to sign up for their like mailing list or something. I'm not exactly sure how you get the Squadron 42 report. Somebody might be able to link it here, though. Okay, on to VFX. Last month, the VFX team revisited several old particle libraries to take advantage of newer attributes that didn't exist when they were originally created. For example, alpha erosion is a setting that erodes a particle's alpha channel, reducing overall transparency in the process and helping to optimize the game's visuals. This was used effectively in Lorville's recently updated chimney smoke effects. Maybe this is not the chimney smoke effects that are dropping me to 10 frames per second then. Work also continued on several new derelicts and the modular kits for various pyro locations. That's nice. I like hearing about new derelicts. We definitely need a higher variety. Oh, you usually get them but didn't. I see. Oh, Shiny Hobo's here. Yo, we would. Wait, is that a coincidence? Somebody just told me to check out Shiny Tracker, and so I opened it up because I think I'll consider. Aw, Hugo. Rest in peace. I'm sorry. It's a cute dog. What was I saying? Oh, I was considering hitting this up and seeing if I could try using this instead of the progress tracker. So, thanks for being here so I could give you a personal thanks for making this. Very awesome. You have a bad feeling? Last part, you just returned an empty sheet because you got burnt out. I hate that. I'm so sorry. I hate finals week. Did I see the updated Raylan picture? I did not. There's a new picture for it? That's cool. Beautiful ship. Change the name to Raylan Base. Okay. So they're going to make variants of it now that they're working on it. Or they're working on it after the Santok Yai is done, right? So they're probably just like doing design stuff. And they're now starting to get around to figuring out what they're going to do with that ship. If you say shiny 3 times, Shiny Hobo spawns in chat. Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice power. I could really use that. Gian isn't in the list of spoken languages for your RSI profile. Oof. Oof, you non-Gian pleb. Thing dropping everyone's FPS at Lorville is probably the thousands of random boxes and 3 lampposts every 5 feet around the city. Thousands of random boxes. The Raylan has potential to be a very, very popular ship. It's got such a unique look to it. So that's the monthly report of May 2023. Any highlights? Any favorites? Anything you guys particularly liked? I really liked hearing about Quantum. I gotta say, I think this is... Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot! Okay, cool. No, I thought I finished off the April monthly report for a second. I really enjoyed hearing about Quantum and seeing that it's being worked on. That's probably some of the best news we've gotten in years. I mean, I would say that getting Quantum worked on is even better than getting the star map worked on. And I think the star map is the worst thing in the game right now. But if the economy is working in this game, I feel like that opens up so much more with these professions. Bounty hunting V2 is a good one too. I'm excited to hear more about that for sure, because all we know right now is bounty hunting V2 is going to require you to track down your target, apprehend your target, turn in your target. We don't know necessarily, are you going to, like, how often is a marker going to show up on your target? Is it just when they're in a comm array zone or just a landing zone or something? Can targets go to landing zones? Can they be in buildings or caves? Will these targets actively try to run away when we see them? Or are they just going to sit there and let us shoot them like, you know, AI like to do? I think there's a lot of questions surrounding bounty hunting, and they haven't really answered them, probably for good reason, because it is well behind things like engineering or refining, I'm guessing. Quantum makes me all giddy inside. Ah, Vagabond. Want to know what that ground variant is? Really, the ground vehicle variant's on your mind, huh? Where did you find that Polaris as a increased size and torpedo numbers? I'm not aware of the increased size or torpedo numbers. I didn't know that the torpedo numbers even increased. I think they did say that they increased the size though last year at the end of the year. All vehicles Q&A during IAE. It does have unique boxes, yeah. The Gatak Raylan. Assassination missions are a good one. Star map first. Oh yeah, I think we'll get the star map before we get any significant quantum movement, but we've been hearing about the star map for a long time. We know it's important and it's needed for Squadron 42, but quantum is Star Citizen only, as far as I'm aware. At least in a major part. So you don't exactly expect them to be working on it like you would expect the map. And I love that they're finally talking about it. Oh yeah, there's also the Yeah, non-lethal weapons are going to be important, and restraints. Overall, it's going to be interesting to see the ISCs about the bounty hunting. The unannounced variant of the vehicle was here. A yet as unannounced ship. Oh no, I'm sorry. A new ground vehicle variant pack progressed through Greybox Stage 2. Don't know what that could be. I'm going to say it again. I hope it's a rock with a tractor beam on it. Ground vehicle, Pappison. Yeah, I'm more excited for the economy too. Tony's only job is quantum. That's all he's been working on from what we know. Tony's been working on quite a bit, I think. They mentioned... I think it was CitizenCon last year. They said that Tony was working on something that was supposed to come in a update fairly soon. Also, the systemic services and tools team actually has a lot on their plate. I'm not sure if Tony specifically is working on those things. Actually, why don't we go to the shiny tracker? If you go to systemic services and tools team, they do a lot on, like, I guess, professional stuff. Whoa, SC Pappison. Time for some support from me on the YouTube side. Wow. Holy crap, a freaking massive super chat. Thank you so much for the support, buddy. That goes a really long way for us, especially on YouTube. Unlike Twitch, who takes 50% of everything. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I hope you've been enjoying the stream. Interesting news we've been getting. Yeah, that's right. They've been working on the bounty hunting V2 system quite a bit. But they do some of the other stuff like dynamic events and whatnot. I don't know if Tony specifically is working on that stuff, but the team he's in charge of at least is. Which I'm assuming is part of why Quantum did end up taking so long. A mule with a tractor beam? It could be cool. I'm Team Rock. Team Rocket Power. Rock DS should have a tractor beam. Yeah, that'd be a good one for a tractor beam too. C1 and A1 are almost gray box complete. Plus one ship, one ground ship. The Storm, the Santok Yai. The X1 is also being worked on. And... I feel like there's something else I'm missing. We had like 8 different vehicles and ships. I guess some of that was the Mirai Fury and MX. Polaris isn't coming anytime soon, but that is being worked on. X1 with the tractor beam. Tractor beam's going to be bigger than the bike. I'd actually like to go back to like the January monthly report real quick. Because that one, I think, did mention the Spirit series ships, and I'm interested in hearing white box review with the A1 moving into gray box. Okay. Maybe I want the February then? Oh, I butchered that last word there. I'm not going to look at the Squadron 42 report today, no. Unless there's, I guess I could touch on the highlights real quick. Spirit continued its gray box phase. Okay, so they were basically just talking about gray box the whole time. I thought they were further along than this, but looks like they're still scheduled out for the end of the week. Let me pull up the Squadron 42 one real quick and we can check out anything major that came through that one. Oh man, I'm on the wrong account. Let's see. Here we go. Squadron 42, monthly report. Oh, they kind of... I forgot they send it to you like this. That's annoying. Okay. How am I going to do that? How am I supposed to read this without doxing myself? I guess it doesn't say my actual... Just do it like this. Okay, so... Alright, fine. Here's what we'll do. Nope, that doesn't work either. Whatever. Okay, So this is the Squadron 42 report. This is what it looks like. It gets sent to you in your email. Oh yeah, the Hull C too. Thank you, Odysseus. Yeah. How did I forget about the Hull C? And the SRV. Yes. Thank you guys. All right. We're going to skim this. AI. AI content worked on Fight Club Caged Arena. That's fun. Last month implementing the entry bouncer and rush animations for crowd spectators. Fight animations. Animations. Ooh, drunk locomotion animations where NPCs holding cups. Nice, very important. Good. AI content implemented mobiGlass and datapad overlay locomotions animations to allow characters to seamlessly interact with digital interfaces. That's fun. Sub-Zero, I'm glad you liked the content. Thanks for dropping by. Hope you've been enjoying the stream. Maybe the Spirit Greybox took longer than we expected because they are working asynchronously on the variants. Yeah, there have been very few mentions of the E1 after they mentioned the Rescue Craft. They haven't really talked about that at all. Rescue Raft. Yeah, a bunch of vehicles this year. What's up, Chimera? Doing well. I hope you are good as well. AI features. Talking about AI using med pens. First pass of a boss fight that challenges players to counter or block before they can attack. Sounds like, okay, yeah, melee attack stuff. AI tech. Continue to improve collision avoidance system. We read about that. Dynamic pathfinding. We read about that. It looks like this is pretty much similar to Star Citizen. Ongoing rework of combat AI. They hooked up various events for the AI to react across the game. This final step before integrating the new combat AI into all encounters across Squadron 42. AI updates. Very good. Also got ground avoidance, yada yada. Animations are bigger. Worked on various skill level based takedowns. So again, skill levels that you earn in the game will change the way that you play. Movement in 0G and swimming. The team continued creating assets for background actions to give life to various locations. This will continue as levels are playtested. A second enemy class animation style was developed alongside a knife fight and melee enemy class. Okay, so new enemies. I'm going to skip engine for this one because it hurts. Last month, the gameplay features team updated the character customizer, including a new sculpting mode that allows players to select and drag on anchor points on the face to change the size and shape. Okay, so they're like kind of ditching the idea of before of combining faces. You can now drag and change the shape of the face particularly. Maybe that's just a Squadron thing. Yeah, Darth Revens, they're going to support Linux. Yeah, the skill system. Yeah. They did some more detail work on the firing range. A new collectible was created that players will be able to find, pick up, and stow during gameplay. Just probably some like valuable thing. The front end also received new difficulty option, exposing various modifiers to AI health and weapon attributes. We kind of read about that. Following on from the recent star map work, the team is now developing the area map. This will render a holographic view of a player's current environment, either from within the star map or as part of the visor, with markers for players, characters, missions, objectives, and more. And I'm imagining this will eventually lead to a full-on landing simulation, so you can see everything around your ship while you're landing. You guess Squadron is still 5 years away. I mean, that definitely is a good way to set expectations, but if they're already talking about difficulty options for the game, I think it's closer than that now. If you want monthly newsletters, you log into your SC account on the overview tab. Thank you, Pappison, for letting the folks know. All right, last month, work continued on the control surface flight model. The team implemented special handling for ships in gas-filled 0G locations, such as gas clouds. While ships still favor thrusters in this situation, they will experience drag and lift. Huh. That's a ridiculous detail. You're gonna experience low levels of drag and lift because you're flying through gas in space? That's pretty wild. Kotaku mode. Vehicle features also iterated on UI and VFX for communicating the quantum system state. They also began utilizing in-world VFX for this purpose, which allowed them to pare back the UI. Cool. A new feature for spawning waves of AI ships inside carriers was kicked off. Oh! Oh! This is in my video this week. I didn't think they'd be doing this now. I'm sure it's a ways out. I didn't think they'd be working on it right now, though. CitizenCon is in about 5 months. It's in November or October. Probably like October 22nd or something. Yeah, 22nd. Huh. Spawning ships inside of carriers. Guys, that's huge. I mean, imagine how much an event like Xenothreat. We already talked about how the Polaris could change things. Imagine how carriers could. You go to Xenothreat. You got 10 folks. Yeah, exactly. You got 10 folks with you and you're about to take out the Idris. They open up and there's like five small ships or like freaking 10 Furies fly out to fight you guys. Oh, it's an entirely different vibe to the game. Now AI will spawn on landing pads with carriers, take off, and join the fight. This feature can be used to support large battles by naturally spawning ships. I'm sure this will make for some really cool scenes in Squadron. The IFCS system received updates last month. For example, the team worked on a bespoke relative throttle that allows players to assign a target velocity when the throttle is untouched. Various quality of life improvements were made to support this, including a trap for setting target speed to 0, a non-linear rate of change for improved precision at lower speeds. Oh, that's so nice. We really need that. And an improved UI for displaying the throttle. They said bespoke. Take a shot. This is a Squadron report, yeah. Welcome, Bishop. Good morning. Work on vehicle UIs continue with the team creating a physical hangar terminal for modifying a ship's loadout before missions. Multifunction displays also received various updates, including a UI pass to make them larger, simpler, and easier to read. The new MFD system allows players to cast some screens to their visors, with the team changing the layout and aspect ratio of the screens when this occurs. This makes better use of screen space and allows certain elements to be more prominent. So useful. Last month, the gameplay story team worked on various scenes involving the Stanton's quartermaster. These updates were requested by design with the goal of getting the scenes to integrate properly with the AI behavior. New motion capture data was used to update some significant scenes in the medbay, ensuring characters interact correctly with the latest swiveling chair setup. Gotta get that swiveling chair. Gotta get that swiveling chair. In May, Gameplay Story began setting up 8 new scenes, bringing their total to 290. They also polished, pose pasted, and updated props in several scenes to ensure they were fully up to date. I wonder what this means. Just setting up scenes. It's not something I'd expect right now, but maybe this is something pretty minor. They continue to set up operator seats, working to establish proper metrics. Yada, yada, yada. All right, moving on to level design. Last month, level design focused on their 2 main locations, the Stanton and Krugery capital ships. Oh, okay. That's the name of the stand. Alongside general scene maintenance and bug fixing, they looked into scene handshakes that transition NPCs into their required behaviors. This involves ensuring characters are prepped to transition, are pose-matched, and have holstered held items and more. I think this is because characters will be going about their own lives and doing all their own things, but if you start an action or get a mission going, those characters will have to make their way to go do those things or like change what they're doing. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Could be a lot more specific than that though. Moved all mention of the Squadron 42 download. Sounds like they just canceled Squadron. Could you imagine? Oh my god. Narrative. Performance capture shoot. We read about that. Synced with design on their recent gameplay progress on dialogue. and progressed on, including, collectibles, Galactopedia, MobiGlass. R&D, they worked on planetary terrain height map generation. I think we read this. UI team completed their work on modular fluff screens, getting them set up in different UI styles for various locations. They're now ready to be handed over to the art and FPS teams so they can be added to levels. Thank God. Love getting some updated UI. We don't see that enough. Don't rile people up like that. Where was I? They also implemented new FPS weapon screens for the different brands within the game and worked alongside the FPS and vehicle teams on augmented reality markers, which are floating UI elements that show players where their objectives and targets are. Augmented reality markers are going to be very helpful. Right now, they're pretty crappy. I hope they're customizable in some aspect, but I also hope they just function better. They stack on top of each other right now. They get hidden. They point in weird directions sometimes. Really, really would appreciate a rework there. Work on the final visor UI also continued with the AI feature team. How often do we hear the word final, though? This will include weapons and ammunition information, notifications, and mission objectives. They also applied improved shaders courtesy of the graphics team to make the UI appear more holographic. So this is coming from the features team, AI features team. This would be another thing to look out for in Star Citizen and see whenever this comes. That gives us a good idea of how long it takes for things to go from Squadron to us. Well, I guess not every feature is the same. All the UI elements are being designed in completely different styles in the PU. Bugs you so much. The UI tech team continued to improve their tools, including making performance improvements and adding additional ways to debug the more complex scenes. I think we read that too. And last month, VFX revisited gas clouds, working closely with design and art to create new hazards that can occur inside the tunnel networks. Oh, shoot. You know what? I never even realized they were going to do that. I think they're talking about this. They're building out these much more dense gas clouds with these like tunnel networks in them. I didn't realize that the tunnel networks were going to be something you needed to pay attention to. Is this like the Kessel Run now? Can we do this in parsecs? That's pretty neat. Little hazards that occur inside there, so you're going to have to actually navigate gas clouds. I'm guessing that's mostly for the coil. Progress was also made on weapon effects, while support for the art and design teams continued across a variety of locations. And that, my friends, is the Squadron 42 monthly report and the PU monthly report for May. Both had some good information on them. I like it. It weren't the biggest and greatest reports. I think the features sections in particular, I was really hoping for more from features gameplay with refining coming up, but maybe we'll see that next month. Either way, I liked it. It's always a good time. I mean, like, the freaking monthly report streams are the literal best streams of the month. So thanks everybody for coming to this. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you got to see something that you were looking forward to, and they're working on something that you're excited about. Can't tell you when any of this stuff is coming, of course. Some of it is going to come in the next couple of weeks. Some of it's going to come in a couple of months. Some of it's not going to come until next year. So you can't read through it and just know everything that's going to happen, but a lot of this stuff is giving really, really good signs for the development of the game. Quantum, in particular, is an incredibly good sign. The focus on all these different types of missions from both the features missions team and the narrative team are also very, very good. You can see that they're both referencing the exact same mission, so they're working together on that. The modular mission system is a very good sign. The engine team working on post Gen 12 work is a very good sign. There's some good stuff in here. I like it, but that's been kind of the trend of monthly reports lately. They've been pretty thick and juicy. They've been having some good stuff. 2023 is a very good year for this game in terms of gameplay. So that's it for this month, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. I hope you're having a good week, because I got more planned for it. We're going to go and jump into the game tomorrow and play some more Star Citizen, and maybe even jump into Deep Rock Galactic. Not quite sure, but we might do some of that. Got a video coming out probably towards the end of the week that will talk about the Mirai Fury, capital ships, and carrier ship gameplay, how that's all going to work as we move into Pyro and the game gets more progressed. So expect that over the weekend. Exclusive video just came out for all of you who are supporters. Check that out. We released 2 podcasts this week, both Citizen Central talking about mining and a launch sequence, which I did with Yamix, talking about Star Citizen. If you know who Yamix is, you can imagine how the conversation went. It was really good. Actually, it was very critical in a good way. And I think we got to have some good back and forths there. So check that out if you will. It's on the second YouTube channel. And we have the 2 giveaways going. We're giving away a 400i and a Mirai Fury, which will be rolling for tomorrow. So the giveaway started today. Not tomorrow, sorry, next week. We'll be rolling the giveaway for that next week. So you have time to get involved in that. And of course, the 400i giveaway will be going for a little while as well. Get in on those. Enjoy your time. And I'll see you guys soon. Let me get this raid going for you. Your theory on why Quantum wasn't mentioned before the last 2 monthly reports is because Tony Z was waiting for 318 and PES to be released in the live servers. That could be it, yeah. A lot of stuff seems to have been waiting on PES. It's interesting to actually see that pan out. Because they say it, but you never really know. But PES happened and things have been moving since then. Maybe not the game. Maybe not your frame rates. But the development of the game has definitely sped up with PES coming more in line with what they wanted it to be. Ooh, we're going to raid Sigelian today. Giveaway will be drawn next week for the Mirai Fury. Oh, we'll also be doing... I forgot. I totally forgot, guys. So... please join the Discord if you want to come and play the game with us. I've been talking to a lot of people who are looking to get into more group play, and we are getting a lot more activity going in our org right now. As 319 gets more stable, we're running events almost every day. We've got people playing almost every day, and we're starting to more form our official divisions with mining and FPS and racing. So if you are looking for a place to get involved in an org, you want to kind of get more into the idea of like the logistics and actually helping out, we would love to have you. You can come join us and jump into the game if you want to and just hang out, or you can help us build together. Also doing a stream on Sunday with Astropub for those who know him. I've already said we're doing a joint stream covering Starfield. There's going to be a big Xbox Microsoft games showcase, so I'll be streaming that, and then we will do coverage of Starfield after that to show off the new space RPG. I'm very excited about it, so I'm pumped to do that with him. If you know Astropub, you know it's going to be a good time. After that, we will be shooting a podcast, which will come out next week, which will tell all the stuff we saw. So if you can't make the stream, check out the podcast. Can't make the podcast? I don't know what to say. Regardless, though, that's it for me today. Thank you all for coming. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I see. God of... Wait, I can't read that. What does that say? God of Chaos. I'm so sorry you just got here. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope you can make it to the next stream. This was a good one. But I'm sorry you got here at the end. Thank you for showing up, though. The Garden is my Discord. GII is the org, so you can find the org on the Discord. Been having crazy fun with randos in chat. We should be doing it with the org. Randos in chat are fun. Randos in chat are fun, but you know. All right, folks. Raga. See you later, 07s. God of Chaos, 07s. Don't be sad. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. Same place, same time. I hope you have a good night. See you later, folks. Much love.